What is up, and welcome to Ask DLF. The show actually has many names. Taco Tuesday. That's Tyler and Cal on Tuesdays. We have an addition with us here today, though. We've got Wyatt that we're going to introduce, but fits into Waffle Wednesday with Wyatt, and that's our Australian friends. They'll make some appearances here in just a little bit. It is Wednesday over there, so that's where that comes from. But we want to welcome everybody into Ask DLF. We are right now smack dab in the middle of June. This quote-unquote off-season. There is no off-season, but this quote-unquote off-season is flying by. This is the slowest time, but I still feel like, we're getting there quickly. There's a lot of news, a lot of things to react to and talk about. And in this show, we react to whatever you want to discuss. That's why it's Ask DLF. So use that chat. Make sure any trades, any questions, if you still have drafts, whatever it is, that's what we're here to help. And joining me as always, Tyler, FF creator. Make sure you're following him like most of half the world is at this point, seems like. And
25,000 plus.
Yeah. Tyler, how are you?
Oh, I'm great. I mean, my throat is kind of sketchy, but other than that, I'm great.
And Wyatt, as I mentioned, joining us. He is a recent addition to the DLF family here, but if you don't know him already, you should at Wyatt B, _FF, and make sure you're following him as well. Wyatt, how are you?
Doing great. Really happy to be here. I haven't actually talked with either of you like in any form other than just Twitter, so I'm super excited.
Very cool. Wyatt, everybody knows that I'm a Saints fan. They know that Tyler is a Giants fan. Wyatt is a Browns fan. So a lot of long-suffering fans.
Oh, I'm so sorry
on this show.
I'm so sorry for when the inevitable questions come up.
It's always a hard time to be a Browns fan, but it's especially hard right now.
Right. I have said that your chief strategy officer, he has a new nickname, the chief incompetence officer. Yeah, that one. The chief incompetence officer is his nickname now. I just came up with that today. Chief incompetence officer.
The CIO. Well, today's episode is brought to you by a very competent group, and that's the DynastyLeagueFootball.com people. Also, I think right now is a great time for you to jump in and try to get a DLF Premium subscription. So right now you can get pro access to 4x4 or 4for4, Betsperts Fantasy Life app. That's the Betsperts Bundle. So $99 a year for full access to all 4 sites. You can't go wrong with that. You're gonna get way more than your money's worth for that. Go check that out. Like Henry is saying, Henry, the legend, the man, the myth right here. Smash that like button. Make sure you're subscribed to the channel. And anytime you hit the like button, what happens, Addison?
Addison can't hear us.
I know I almost feel like if we just listen real intently, he'll answer. He gets happy. He smiles.
I get my wings.
That's right. He gets his wings. All right, let's jump in. Jesse, smash it. That like button, I'm sure, is what he's talking about.
I need to work on an Addison impression.
What's up, everyone? I was able to move Terry McLaurin in a 23 third for Elijah Moore and a 2022 second and a 10 team super flex and hashtag feels good, man. What do we think?
I love it.
Yeah, big time. I've got Elijah Moore ahead of Terry McLaurin by 5 spots.
Me too.
So,
yeah. How many spots did you say?
5.
5 spots. I have 4 spots. 4 spots ahead. So
all right, love it.
Yeah, basically the same.
Not bad. Oh, it clarifies it's 23 second. Oh, so you got the pick upgrade and you got the better player right there. Seems like to me.
That sounds great. Yeah, I like that. When you can trade for a better player and get a better pick, it kind of sounds like something I would do, right? I mean, we want to win things. We don't like losers. Losing is bad.
Jake, this is interesting. So 12 team super flex. If I could get Jameis Winston for a 23 second, should I? Tyler, you're bigger on Jameis than me. What do you think?
Did I say that? I mean, I guess. I don't know. Do you
dislike
him? You dislike him a lot because for reasons I don't even know. But you wanted Taysom Hill to start last year. You thought that was going to happen.
Yeah, I thought it was going to happen.
You did, yeah. So, but it didn't. Of course, it didn't happen. But so I don't know. I would take Jameis Winston over 23 second. Yes.
Wyatt?
Yeah, I agree with that. Just in general, I think Jameis, he's going to be started there for probably 2 more years, if I had to guess. And I mean, he's been fairly productive when he's on the field for the Saints.
Let's also remember that incompetent general manager of the Saints traded away their 2023 first-round pick for no reason. They traded away the first-round pick for no reason when their team isn't very good. So that didn't seem like such a good idea.
That's why I think he's going to be the starter.
Yeah, they don't have any way to replace him in next year's class. They could be a bad team. They don't have that first-round pick. So that was a big mistake that they made. So, yeah, I didn't, again, they got fleeced by Howie Roseman, which seems to happen a lot, actually.
Not bad. I don't think this is necessarily a bad trade, but I would not be. I just would lower my expectations for what Jameis Winston's going to do. They don't trust him. They're not going to open up the offense. He threw for on average 180 yards or 190 yards last year in his games. He was productive because there was a lot of touchdowns that were part of that. I would expect there to be some regression back because he didn't have very many attempts even per game. And if the defense plays anything like they played last year, added Tyrann Mathieu, added some good players, if they're a good defense and they don't trust him and they're going to run the ball, then I wouldn't expect for him to be super productive.
Well, don't you think they're going to be able to pass the ball a little bit better with legitimate weapons on the offense? I mean, last year you had Marquez Boring. I mean, he was so boring. He didn't do anything.
Kenny still ran routes.
He's awful. Yeah. And Traquan Blocker, you had Traquan Blocker. That's what you had. That was receiver 2.
Kevin White at one point.
Kevin White, yes. Yeah. And Kenny Stills played. He did play. And then there was Deontay Hardy,
who I like,
formerly Deontay Harris. But
so I think the upgrades at wide receiver definitely help him a lot there.
There's no doubt some like that is good. But Taysom Hill is still there to take away some rushing touchdowns. That's going to happen. Like, you can dislike him all you want, but he's going to take away goal line carries.
He's tight end now. He's a tight end now. He's going to play tight end.
Yeah, and doesn't that affect Kamara more?
Well, but none of that's good for Winston. And so, it just is.
I think it's fine.
Yeah.
I'm not concerned.
And yeah, I do not have high hopes. I just would lower my idea. This isn't the Bruce Arians air it out 30 for 30 version of Jameis Winston. This is rein it back in, make sure he's not hurting the team version of Jameis Winston. That's what we saw last year.
Oh, here they come.
If you really want to go get a QB2 for a second, I would go send it for Davis Mills instead of Jameis Winston personally. Yeah,
I would not. I'd rather have Jameis Winston.
I'm a Mills believer.
It's fun sometimes to not take all of this too seriously. But yeah, I would rather have Jameis Winston because I feel like he has more fantasy upside. Davis Mills, I just feel like is kind of stuck. I mean, his weapons are bad. The Saints have better weapons. Michael Thomas took the field today.
The Saints do absolutely have better weapons, but as Cal was saying, it's possible the Saints are a more run-heavy team playing good defense, and the Houston Texans do not have that option, and they're going to be playing from behind and have to throw a lot.
It's hard, though. Brandon Cooks is all they got. I mean, right. John Mechie is not going to be ready. Doesn't sound like he's going to be ready in time.
True.
And then Nico Collins, to me, is just a guy.
That was the case last year, and Mills was fine.
Not for fantasy, though. For real life, he was better.
Gardner Minshew. Useless. Yeah, that's who he reminds me of. All right. How about outside of the top 50?
50.
A sleeper.
50 positionally, because a quarterback and tight end, that doesn't. I assume this is asking for running back or wide receiver.
That's the overall.
Well, I mean,
my guess.
There's a lot of sleepers. Outside the top 50 overall, I mean, Chris Olave is outside the top 50 overall. Right. He's not a sleeper. But
if you're saying by position, yeah, you're talking about the Khalil Herberts.
Yeah, something like that. I mean, I don't know.
I'll throw out Pierre Strong, who I think has a real chance to be relevant next year. Damian Harris' contract is up. James White could be gone after this year. I think it's very possible, and I think there's a good chance that come next year, it's Ramondre Stevenson and Pierre Strong is the lightning and thunder in the backfield. And Pierre Strong is the only guy in that backfield who actually has home run speed and actually real athleticism. So I like him.
I have him a lot higher than his ADP. So I almost didn't include him because he's at 51 in my ranks. So
he's Dynasty 56 for me. So yeah.
Yeah. So I have him higher than you. I would say also I'd put Romeo Doubs on my list just in case. Packers wide receiver.
Yep.
I would look at him if you want a sleeper. If you want to go a really deep sleeper, Kyle Phillips the Tennessee rookie. Robert Woods, I think, is done. An ACL tear. He wasn't so good. He wasn't so good before the ACL tear. He was starting to pick it up a little bit, but it wasn't so good. And now he's going to be changing teams. He's going to be 30 coming off an ACL tear. I think not. So, Kyle Phillips could have an opportunity to step in and potentially give you something.
I do like Kyle Phillips a little bit. I think obviously there's a lot going against him, but he is the kind of wide receiver because he's so agile and good with his routes that you'll just look up and all of a sudden he has 7 targets in the game. You wouldn't have expected it until you go look at the box score and he's got 5 catches for 50 yards almost every week. That's a real possibility that he's just the check down safety blanket for Ryan Tannehill at some point.
Yeah.
I do like that. What about Nyheim Hines? There's been some buzz on him.
No, Nyheim Hines.
No?
We should spend our time talking about players that matter. Nyheim Hines is not in that
PPR option
category.
2 years ago.
No. I ranted on this on my own show, and I'll do it again here. Why bother? Why bother to draft Nyheim Hines? I always say it too. You can rank based on projections, sure. You rank. If you want to win a most accurate expert contest, rank Nyheim Hines at running back 40. Rank him there because that's about where he's probably going to finish higher than that. He's probably going to finish 35, 36, 37. Is it going to win you anything? No. If you're starting Nyheim Hines in your lineup, you've already lost. So you don't draft Nyheim Hines. You draft someone who has higher upside later, and then you have a bench. You can just start other players. Drafting Nyheim Hines is a waste of time. So he's a waste of time to talk about. He's a waste of time to draft. Just, save it for players who actually you're going to want to start in your lineup, but not him. He's great for an NFL team, but for our purposes, forget him.
I think if your starting lineup is deep enough that he warrants some consideration as a flex option because he could catch 60 passes this year.
How deep? We're going to talk about. It would have to be so deep that I don't again, you don't want to start Nyheim Hines in any sort of typical dynasty or redraft format. You don't want to. So he has no upside.
2 years ago, he was 27th in fantasy points per game in 2020 at running back. That's not nothing. As somebody who's being drafted at number 54 right now in startups.
But why bother? Why bother? When you're drafting someone that late, you want to draft someone with upside. Someone who has the upside to make a difference.
Well, sure.
Nyheim Hines isn't going to make any difference.
There are a lot of very positive things coming out of camp from the coach and from Matt Ryan now that he doesn't have Carson Wentz as his quarterback. He had Phillip Rivers checking the ball down to him in 2020. He's got Matt Ryan, who's capable of doing the same thing now. I think 63 sounds like it could be 70. I mean, he could be a third option, maybe second option, maybe on this team.
No. Just waste your time elsewhere.
Kid Coop, last pick of my startup draft and looking for major upside dart throw. Who are you taking between Bailey Zappe, Diami Brown, or Zaquandre White? Any other suggestions?
Can I pick
no to this group,
please? Yeah, none of the above, please.
If it's out of this, I would say White, who by the way, on Dynasty game night the other night, I pulled him out of I don't know where as a member of the Miami Dolphins on our little name game we had there. Which I would have.
Did anyone get Eric Ezukanma?
I don't remember.
He's what pick they made in this year's draft.
I don't remember.
That would have been the one I would have been holding back for Dynasty game night.
Nice.
Teddy Bridgewater too.
That late? I mean, you're talking. Gosh, I don't even know what you would.
Yeah, it's hard to say without
Diami Brown. It's Diami Brown if I had to choose.
Of these three, I would also pick Diami Brown.
There exists a universe. It's rare. It's literally just DJ Chark in the last my time.
Right.
But there exists a universe where players with day 3 capital is different because sometimes you don't get a chance until later. But day 2 capital is mostly because day 1 capital usually gets something. But day 2 capital players who do nothing at all and then succeed later is really just DJ Chark. There is no one else, really. The one before that would be Tyler Boyd. And he was a lot better in his rookie year than DJ Chark or Diami Brown ever was. So but people like Diami Brown, Amari Rodgers are just in a dumpster fire for me. But there is one player who succeeded in that group. So it's better than the odds on Zaquandre White, who is not going to make the team, or Bailey Zappe, who, what are you going to do? He's not even going to be the backup this year. You just hang on to him and wait for what?
At least with Diami Brown, you can bet on the draft capital, and I don't know, maybe he makes some crazy great, preseason catches, and you get an opportunity to get something for him on the market.
But doesn't that ultimately make him somebody that ends up just like sitting on your roster and like just taking up space? Like at least with Wyatt,
isn't that all these guys?
And you can drop him.
Yeah, but I'm fine dropping De'Ami Brown also at this point. So I'm fine with that. I just there is a possibility that there is one possibility actually why I would definitely hold on to De'Ami Brown is that Terry McLaurin and the Commanders are not agreeing on a contract right now. They have very far apart, and I think that it's going to be very ugly because this is Terry McLaurin. He's older. He's not as young as the other guys from his class. He has to exercise his leverage now. He's going to exercise his leverage now. He has to get the money now. He's not going to get 2 big contracts. He's only, with his age, he's only going to get 1. So this is it. This is what he's going to get. And he has to exercise the maximum amount of whatever power now. So he's not going to accept a low market deal, and he could easily be traded to another team if they can't reach an agreement. I could easily see him ending up in Green Bay, which is what I would like. But there are other potential suitors. But if Terry McLaurin were to be traded, then De'Ami Brown might get a little bit of a bump in value. You can sell them for
I don't know if this is supposed to be your game is weak or your GM is weak, which could work, I guess, either way.
I would apply to the Saints and the Browns general manager. So I'm good with that.
Traded for 9 out of the 12 first picks in this draft. That's 2022, then like
it's not as good. Yeah, if it's 2023, that's much better.
Yeah, I would be trying to move a couple of those to get into 23.
Yeah.
Me too, Hector. My last pick, round 30, was Tim Tebow, and then dropped him for Zaquandre Wright. Another Zaquandre Wright fan.
Zaquandre Wright's not going to make the team. So
go watch him. He's fun to watch.
I don't care.
There's something there.
Yeah. I don't care. I don't care. What matters the most for UDFAs is opportunity, and he has none. So, like, if you're going to take a UDFA running back, the ones you want to take are the ones where there's an RB3 slot on the team.
Look,
open.
nobody.
Philadelphia.
Irrelevant. Yeah,
no, but Philadelphia with Kennedy Brooks. If you want to draft a UDFA, Philadelphia with Kennedy Brooks, and then Tennessee with Julius Chestnut, New Orleans with Abram Smith, and potentially the Giants with Jashawn Corbin. Those are the ones that actually could make the team.
Have 3, 4, 2, 5, 12 team PPR, 2 QBs. Give Ryan Tannehill 110, 223 seconds, and get Matthew Stafford and 306. What do you think? Wyatt, start with you this time.
I think it's a little bit close, just because I think Ryan Tannehill can still be a little bit productive, but overall, I like it just because I think Matthew Stafford is such an upgrade over Ryan Tannehill. The 110 isn't that special in this draft. 223 seconds could be a little bit of something, but like it's fine to upgrade that much, I think, from Tannehill to Stafford.
I mean, at the 110, you're going to get probably what at this point? Like, Olave, if it goes well. If it doesn't, maybe Christian Watson or Sky Moore. And Tannehill, I'm kind of pretty out on. 23 seconds are good, though. I like getting 2 of those. And the 306 is whatever. So I think the value, if you just look at it in a startup, is on the Stafford side. I have Tannehill significantly lower than consensus. So that's probably contributing. But yeah, it's not crazy either way. I don't think if I looked at this offer, I wouldn't be like, it's crazy. But I would take the Stafford side if I have to choose. He just got that new massive contract extension as well. So I'm more confident.
Yeah.
In trying to put it together in the trade analyzer here, it ends up being pretty close.
Okay.
Yeah, it looks like a trade that both teams got what they wanted out of it, and it's just a good trade.
Let's see.
I would say, though, that the team with Tannehill and Brady probably needed to trade for an extra quarterback more than they needed to upgrade a quarterback. I think they needed an extra quarterback. Like, this is not good enough. I mean, Tannehill is potentially on the way out the door in the near future, and Brady, we know, is, unless that deal with the devil has more years left on it, is eventually going to come to an end. He'll still be alive, but come to an end in the NFL. I mean,
an update on Ask DLF Baby. Eric, Ask DLF Lyman. I'm not sure what your baby's name is here, Eric, but I'm glad. So Wyatt, if you don't know, Eric was giving us updates like weekly on his wife was pregnant with their first baby, and
congratulations,
had the baby last week, like during the show, I guess, or right after, like I think it went into labor. And so watched last week's DLF.
That's a true fan right there.
Dude, it was
back to Eric.
awesome. I'm so glad, Eric. And yeah, I don't know, Eric. I don't know if I follow you on Twitter, but reach out if I don't. I tried to actually find like his Twitter handle. I wasn't sure, and so I apologize, Eric. But yeah, shoot me a message if you get a chance when you're up trying not to fall asleep.
I appreciate all of the comments like this, and also everyone who tunes in to watch the show. I know you don't have to. So like, I always appreciate everyone who like chooses to watch the show, because it does, it does mean a lot to me that people continue to tune in. So thank you guys.
Henry, I told you he's the man, the myth, the legend. He's all-timer here, watching his 1998 103 rookie pick. That's how long Henry has been at this.
3.
He's a legend. Yeah, and that 98 Thanksgiving game, I was
3. Can you believe that? I was 3.
Absolutely. He was watching on NFL Network, getting him through this this quote unquote off season and this non-trading season.
There's no off season.
Yeah.
There's no off season.
Is it Russ? Isn't Russ the inventor of that non-trading season?
Non-point scoring season.
Non-point scoring, yeah. So yeah, it's always trading season. Yeah, what am I talking about?
Yeah.
That's DLF's motto, is there's no off season.
Right. Bella D, 12 team, 1 QB, PPR, start 8, including the QB, and only 16 roster spots. So shallow league. Drake London, Elijah Moore, and Ramondre, or DJ Moore, Tyrion
Davis Price.
Is that the right Tyrion? I was, when I saw this, I immediately thought of Game of Thrones.
Me too.
Tyrion.
Me too.
And a 2023 first. Which side would you want? Wyatt, what do you think?
DJ Moore side. He's my favorite player in that grouping, and I think the 23 first is about on par with Drake London and Elijah Moore, maybe slightly less for just a random one. Ramondre, give or take. I mean, he's fine. Tyrion Davis Price, I'm not a big fan of, but he got good draft capital, at least like has a route to opportunity. So yeah, DJ Moore side for me.
Yeah, I mean, I would take the DJ Moore side. I'm always going to lean toward the 2023 first. But, I would, if I had the other side, I would probably try to be greedy and do better. Greed is good.
Tyrion would be a close, like borderline, just needs to be dropped to the waiver wire in this type of league, right? With 16 roster spots. I mean,
no,
pretty shallow.
I don't think so. I think he's gonna.
For you.
I think he's gonna do better than people think. I think
even with that, I think I take DJ Moore in the first, just straight up over those other picks.
I think so too. And plus, you get the roster spots there, right? Like that in a league like that, those are valuable.
Yeah, actually,
that's true.
We do have a super chat right there. Yeah, pull that up. Thanks.
Rate my latest rookie draft. I DM'd to Cal.
Oh, hang on, I got
this is gonna be interesting. Superflex, full PPR, half tight end premium. I'm in a deep rebuild. All right. Do you have it?
Yeah. Let me read off the first. So I'll read the first few and see if
I'm gonna feel bad if I hate it. No, it's one thing I always say: never feel guilty.
Here we go. Yeah, we got to be
about advice at least.
I'm gonna put it up on a banner. Hang on, I got you.
You're gonna put it up on a banner?
Dude,
all right. Well, while you're doing that,
there we go.
No, that was fast.
Yeah.
How'd you do that fast?
103 Garrett Wilson, 208 John Mechie, 209 Isaiah Spiller, 303 Jelani Woods, 306 Tyquan Thornton, 403 Pierre Strong, your guy right there, teams? Wyatt. 406 Daniel Bellinger, 408 Bailey Zappi, 410 Abram Smith.
How many teams?
A lot of names we have talked about here. Let's see. Let me see if I know.
This feels like it's. It could be 12 teams. I mean, I guess.
Yeah, it's a big difference here.
12. Yeah, it's 12. All right, 12 teams. So
12 teams.
Let's start at the top. So 103 Garrett Wilson. He's who I have at 103. So it is what it is. I can't say it's a home run. I mean, it's not a value.
Yeah,
but it's just a pick.
Yeah,
but moving on to the next one. John Mechie at 208. That seems like a value to me. Maybe I'm wrong.
It is for me, for sure.
Yeah, that seems like a value. I don't have the rookies separated anymore because I've pretty much moved on. I've moved on from rookie season mostly, and I'm more focused on redraft in addition to my dynasty rankings. But John Mechie at 208 feels like a value. I believe
Spiller
I
at
have
209
spots higher.
I think is an even better value.
I don't agree. I don't agree at all.
I like getting him there. That's
he would not have been my
is right on par for me personally.
I have him lower. I definitely have him lower. I would have, I would have taken a lot of those wide receivers, Mechie, David Bell, Wan'Dale Robinson, and Alec Pierce as well over Isaiah Spiller. And I also might have taken, this is a super flex, so I probably would have taken a shot on at least Desmond Ridder and potentially also Malik Willis.
It does depend on when those quarterbacks went, but I agree. Those round 3 quarterbacks over Spiller for sure for me.
I don't have Isaiah Spiller in the top 2 rounds.
Wandale was the only one that was there. He's Ridder and Willis were both gone.
I don't have Isaiah Spiller in the top 2 rounds, so that pick is a no for me.
They've been trying to fill that spot for so long, and they are just relentless at trying to bring, and they haven't been able to get it right yet. And I think, obviously, we don't love the draft capital that Isaiah Spiller got at the end of the day. We want it to be better, but he was an RB3 and ADP going into this, right? So, I mean, we're disappointed by the landing spot, or we're disappointed by the draft capital. I don't think we should be disappointed by the landing spot.
It's not the landing spot is okay, but like
I think it's one of the better spots to go for a running back with that type of draft capital.
It would have been a lot better if he'd gone to Houston where Dameon Pierce ended up.
Completely, totally agree. That's why I just said one of the better.
Yeah, that's why Dameon Pierce is ahead for me, because once you get past day 2, I don't care. I don't care how good you are. Doesn't matter. All that matters to me is opportunity. It doesn't matter how good you are. I don't care. It's opportunity is first and foremost in my rankings, and then how good for a running back. For a wide receiver, not so, but for a running back, all I care about is the opportunity. So that's why Dameon Pierce is ahead.
Let's jump out. Thank you for the question in the super chat there, Steve.
There's a lot more to this draft. I can tell you that I do not like
the Pierre Strong pick for sure.
The Pierre Strong pick is good. Jelani Woods, not so great. Tyquan Thornton, not so great. Daniel Bellinger, not for me. Bailey Zappi was a waste of a pick, and Abram Smith, that's too early. So, yeah, mixed bag. Mechie and Strong are my 2 favorite picks.
I would have probably liked to get Justin Ross somewhere in there, like depending on where he went. Early 4th, late 3rd. I've been targeting him too, as a just in case. Why not? I mean, like the odds of any of those hitting are small. He's at least got a big upside if he does.
Yeah, because wasn't the rumor that basically the only reason why he got undrafted was medical? No teams wanted to clear him. Also, so it's not a talent question with him.
I won't say who it is, but I may have a very, very special guest for this show in the near future. So,
is it Justin Ross?
No, the only NFL player I think I could get on this show is Darrington Evans.
Let's get that. Let's do that.
Do you want me to try?
You know what? First, let's try Mike Trout, who apparently loves fantasy football. That would be great.
He'll have to come on and defend his commissionership.
Jock Peterson is also welcome, Mr. Jocktober.
You got to get them all. You got to get them all.
Jocktober shirt I will wear for the occasion.
Yeah.
Okay, let's jump back over here, and unless there's nothing else you wanted to mention on this draft here, right?
No.
Let's see. Yeah, long day at work with the kids, and seeing Tyler's tweet about the show instantly made the day better. Thanks, guys. Love these kind of messages. Yeah, love that. Jalen Tolbert hype. Yeah.
Yes.
Tyler, I don't know if you remember, but I was on your channel, on your show, when he got drafted and made the case that, hey, I loved the landing spot, loved Tolbert, loved what he could do there.
Did I push back or did I agree?
No.
Okay.
No.
Yeah. I was more of a moderator on that show, though.
Right. Yeah.
I'm happy this is a pro Tolbert.
Yeah, no, I've learned. I've learned very much that, like, if I noticed it during this show, like I was going to click on stuff. I kind of like hosting shows. Might have to do that more often.
Jake says, looks like me and you, Tyler, should grow out our beards. Like, I mean, why is putting us to shame right here? Pretty bad.
No, I don't look good. I don't look good. I don't look good with facial hair.
I did do a show for like
there's only
2
one way
years.
to find that out for us.
Yeah, that's right. With Matt Donnelly, who's got just unbelievable mustache and facial hair. And so I am not easily intimidated by it. But Wyatt, you have a great beard. I love it.
Well, thank you.
Blake's happy Waffle Wednesday. Here's our Australian crew. Who's one name you love or have on your Dynasty roster going into next season? So somebody you're excited about. You pull up your roster. You're excited that they're there. Tyler, one name. Who you got?
Excited?
Yeah.
Jamar Chase. I mean, you asked me to be excited. So that's if I'm going to get excited about someone, that's what I'm going to get excited about.
Fair enough. Wyatt, anybody jump out to you?
I'm going to go with Michael Pittman, who's just been climbing my rankings all off season. I'm super excited for him. I think there's a really good chance he's a top 12 Dynasty receiver not too long into the season.
I could definitely see that.
Love that.
I mean, I don't have him that far from the top 12 now.
Yeah, I mean, he's 16 for me now, so it wouldn't be that big 16. Of a climb.
Yeah, I have him at 19. So,
Jalen Waddle, I guess, is probably the guy that I'm most.
I love Jalen Waddle.
Pumped about having him on my team right now. He's kind of been acquirable to a certain extent.
I know.
Yeah, and more than the teams where I have Trey Lance, I love that too, which is a different story. But
I'd actually be really.
He's not very acquirable right now.
You know, I'd be really excited to have on my Dynasty team, Superflex, Justin Herbert.
Sure,
Justin Herbert. That is someone. If I see Justin Herbert on my team, I'm like, "Ooh, this is just great." I mean, I think I have the golden boy for who knows how long.
Wyatt is the GOAT.
Toronto Dave representing. Appreciate you, Toronto.
Toronto Dave is awesome.
He's one of the best.
Oh, and Henry's a Browns fan too. Look at that.
I'm so sorry, Henry.
Yeah, I'm sorry, Henry.
But your team might be good in 2024. It might be good. Then maybe, but we'll see.
There's always next year.
Jacob Callaway. Who are some wide receivers that you have ranked 20 to 30? You think the best chance to finish top 5? Ooh, for wide receivers and quarterbacks. This is a fun.
So I have my redraft rankings actually. Is that what's being asked? Or are we asking for top 20 to 30 in Dynasty who have a chance to finish top 5? Because that's a very different question. If that question is being asked in Dynasty, then it's probably Aaron Jones.
Let's talk about a Dynasty.
Yeah, it's Aaron Jones or Leonard Fournette. Those are the only ones really in running back. I mean, those are the guys who have a chance to do it, who are that low, right? I mean, who else is there at wide receiver? There's in that range. Maybe
I got Mike Evans in mind. Yeah. Nope,
Mike Evans. It's going to be old guys. If we're talking Dynasty, Mike Evans, Keenan Allen, it's going to be older guys. If you're talking about, but I think this question is actually interesting if you look at it a little differently. If you look at players who are ranked there for redraft, who then they actually have to make the jump more than just being old and continuing, because that's a different question. And in redraft, if I look at who has upside in that range, I really do not like the upside of the running backs in that range. If I could get who I had at 19, which is Travis Etienne, I would say maybe. But after him in my ranks, it really falls off a little bit of a cliff. But I do see one name where one event who I have ranked at running back 25 in redraft, one event would occur and then he would already be top 5 instantly. And that's AJ Dillon. If Aaron Jones were to go away, AJ Dillon is capable of doing everything Aaron Jones does, but better, except for a little bit in the receiving game. But he's better than people think in the receiving game. Aaron Jones is also overrated in the receiving game. Oh, totally overrated. He's never been as good as people claim in the receiving game. He's never even had 70 targets in a year. Never. So, and he's been RB2. And AJ Dillon is better goal line back than Aaron Jones. So AJ Dillon is the one where there's just one event occurs.
Yeah, I was looking at redraft.
Yeah.
He's the man. Yeah. And that for this question.
Looking at the running backs in redraft, it has to be someone with an injury, basically, I think.
Yeah. There's nobody that low.
Realistically get there.
There's nobody that low. If Cam Akers somehow slips into the beyond 20, he would be a name, but I think he's still higher than that for most people.
Where's Elijah Mitchell going?
He's in the 20s for me personally, but
I can't see Mitchell being top 5. He doesn't get the pass game work.
If he's healthy,
they do split touches. They do split though. They have a lead, but they split. If they have 2, they trust. They do split. Problem is,
I'm extremely pro Elijah Mitchell, and I don't think top 5 is realistic.
I just can't see it. Yeah,
personally, I think he has a really good chance to be borderline RB1, but
I think his ceiling is around like 8. But top 5 is hard. Top 5 is hard to do. So not him at wide receiver. Well, I mean, honestly, people are not gonna like to hear me say this, but if I look at who I have between 20 and 30, I only see one name.
Juju.
Top 5. No, it's Michael Thomas. Michael Thomas is the only one. That's the one where if I'm just wrong and he's Michael Thomas again, he could do it. Nobody else in that range I could see finishing. There's nobody else in that. And who I have between 20 and 30 who could finish there. There's just no way. But Michael Thomas is the one who could. I think
J.K. Dobbins in 20 to 30 for me personally. But yeah.
Yeah. And yeah. J.K. Dobbins.
Well, wait, just answer that. Can he get to top 5, you think? Does he have that upside? No?
No, because the rushing vulturing, no passing to him. No.
I see him and Mitchell.
Same kind of thing as Elijah Mitchell.
Yeah.
That's
what I was mentioning.
Yeah, I'm just more confident that J.K. Dobbins is going to retain the starting job. And he's not going to be displaced on talent. Whereas there is a universe in which Tyrion Davis-Price is the 49ers starter at some point. The universe exists, whereas a healthy Dobbins is not being replaced by any of their guys, no matter what. I'd say the odds of that are about 20% that Tyrion Davis-Price overtakes Elijah Mitchell, more or less, healthy.
Trevon Bolger, Aaron Jones, and Chris Godwin, or Amon St. Brown, Kenneth Walker, and a future first-round pick. Is this a 23 first?
I assume it is. It's not close. It's the Amon-Ra first side by a lot.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah, it's not even close.
When are we getting failure merch? Come on, Addison.
Addison, yeah, this is your fault. The failure merch. No, I don't know. I mean, I don't know how to do that.
Trevon Bolger asks again, Kareem Hunt and Russell Gage or AJ Dillon.
After what I said about AJ Dillon before.
Yeah. You have to say Dillon. What do you think, Wyatt?
I do.
I think it's pretty close, but I would take the Dillon side.
I don't think it's close. It's not close to me. The only one of these things that has upside to have any real major dynasty value is AJ Dillon. So it's easy.
Wyatt, what's your panic level on Treylon Burks right now?
1, 2. I've always been on Treylon Burks. I'm not worried about the concerns of like maybe he's not the best route runner. Well, he isn't the best route runner. I don't need to put a qualifier on it. But I just like the way the Titans use that draft capital, trade away AJ Brown. Like they're obviously have a clear plan. I don't think the Titans do that without knowing what they're drafting in Treylon Burks and know that they have to work him into the offense the best way they can, the best way he can play as he grows as a wide receiver.
Mm-hmm. Tyler?
I would say that my panic level is a 3. But I wasn't as in on Treylon Burks to begin with. So not that I dislike him, but I wasn't as in. I don't know. I mean, it's concerning. It's concerning that he's not ready. He's not playing and he's not participating in the practices he should be participating. He's a rookie. You need to participate in as many. I would say you need to participate in as many practices as possible. Look what happened to Kadarius Toney. The talent was there, but it took him 6 weeks to get on the field because he didn't participate in the practices. So I don't know. I would say that he needs to start getting back out there, but I'm not overly concerned. It's not a big deal. If we get to preseason, he's playing in the preseason games. Nothing to worry about.
Yeah, I got him at like 109 the other day in a league in a rookie draft.
Where's my invite to that one? Can I play in that league, please?
Maybe it was 108.
Still
some smart people in it.
He should go top 5 in every draft.
You would recognize the people if I told you who was in it.
Oh well, whatever.
Trevon Bolger, Jerry Jeudy, or a 23 first.
23 first.
Yeah.
23 first.
Yeah, there's a line where I would pretty much take a 23 first, like in a vacuum, where I'd want it, but that comes well before Jeudy for me.
Same.
Oit boy, I don't know what that is, but I like the idea. I like the idea. Good effort on the name there. If you had a bet on any of the 26-plus-year-old running backs to provide 2 more seasons of RB1 production, who would they be and why?
It's a really tough question, but I think the answer has to be, well, and he's about to turn 26. He's not technically 26 yet, so maybe I'm cheating, but it's Christian McCaffrey as long as he stays healthy.
Yeah.
But that's probably like the clear answer there.
It's Christian McCaffrey.
I wouldn't be surprised if Austin Eckler still does it, because the pass catching profile, I think, is something that lasts longer for running backs. Just being able to catch as many passes as he does, he has a chance, even though he's 27.
Really, though, like Christian McCaffrey, I'm hoping, I'm thinking of multiple years. Austin Eckler, I'm thinking of multiple years. I don't see him as like one and done. Even Joe Mixon and Dalvin Cook, I'm kind of thinking of multiple years with those guys. Whereas, and then there's Alvin Kamara, but the problem is that suspension is coming at some point.
That's the only issue there. But yeah, Joe Mixon, if Christian McCaffrey's close enough to qualify, Mixon is probably close enough to qualify there too. And I think that's
the difference. The difference with McCaffrey and Mixon is there's a universe in which Mixon is healthy and is still not an RB1. It's happened before.
Sure. Nick Chubb is another one that I think can be in there too. I love Nick Chubb.
Tell you, Nick Chubb with Jacoby Brissett is not a redraft RB1 for me.
I hate to say it, but he's not a redraft RB1 for me right now.
Did you rank with what? You ranked him that way, assuming what?
Because if Deshaun Watson is playing, I could see a world in which, well, one, they're more pass heavy, and that doesn't benefit Nick Chubb very much. And
no, but like when you ranked Nick Chubb, you ranked it with who? Like how many games of Deshaun Watson with
a full season?
Because my rankings are Deshaun Watson is not in my redraft rankings. Yeah. I am ranking it with, at this point, Jacoby Brissett as the Brown starter.
Yeah, so I'm saying he's not an RB1 for me, like coming up this year, even with Deshaun Watson.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
I would have him as an RB1 if I knew I had Deshaun Watson.
And I have never been able to rank Nick Chubb like correctly previously, because he's my favorite player in all the NFL. He's the one player where like my bias always comes into play. And I think this is the first time I've been able to like center myself and like be real with myself about Nick Chubb. And he's not in my top 12.
Wow. Yeah. Just going back 2 years with Kareem Hunt playing 16 games, and he only played 12, he finishes the RB11.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, like,
I'm aware of that.
Just because Kareem Hunt's there, and like, who's the quarterback? I mean, we're talking about Baker Mayfield was the quarterback here. We're not talking about.
If Deshaun Watson is playing, there's a good chance that they are more pass heavy near the end zone. Deshaun Watson also can run touchdowns in.
It doesn't matter. There's no reason to talk about if Deshaun Watson is playing.
Yeah, and then if he's not playing, like
he's not playing. He's not going to be playing this year.
Yeah.
Garoppolo, that would be interesting. I don't know how.
I like Garoppolo. Basically, is just a proxy for Baker Mayfield, so he's back into
Garoppolo's way better.
There you go.
Garoppolo actually doesn't manage to alienate every single one of his teammates, so I think he'll do a lot better than Baker Mayfield. So I would much rather have Garoppolo. That would increase my projections for all of these players if it were Garoppolo, but I don't think it will be.
Jacob with the Dynasty question. You came to the right place, Jacob. This is DLF, and we are Ask DLF. So I appreciate you asking this. With 23 looking like a great class at running back, who are some running backs you're looking to get out on at market value or better? Pierce, Algar seem like prime candidates to get replaced. I would add James Cook into this. He's going to be replaced next year too. So who else? Who else you got?
I wouldn't say that about James Cook. Second round draft capital is a lot to spend on someone, but yeah, I mean, Pierce is high on that list. If he's not excellent, he could be replaced. Algier, I think, is the more overvalued one. To be honest,
I'm not a fan of Algier at all. Yeah,
he's someone I don't get really. But yeah, Algier is high on my list.
Sounds good. Deontay Hardy, this must be in our conversation about how bad the Saints. But look, he was actually kind of a bright spot. And I actually sort of liked when he would get targets, and with little Jordan Humphrey would get targets, as crazy as that sounds, because the other options were like Kevin White was like, oh my God, I just watched anything of him running routes last year. I just couldn't even.
Kevin White.
Times were tough.
And I think Kenny Stills had like 20 targets and like 2 catches or something ridiculous. Like it was so stupid, whatever.
Kenny
it was.
Stills.
Nicholas, what would you give up to get Jahan Dotson? Oh, okay.
It's hard to like. You just did a rookie draft, so you had your opportunity to trade for Jahan Dotson. Now, I don't know. I mean,
Brandon Ayuk.
You have to.
Michael Thomas.
I'd rather have Brandon Ayuk.
Yeah,
I would give up Thomas
I'm
for him.
very pro Jahan Dotson person, so I might be a little bit higher. He's my wide receiver 32 in Dynasty.
32. I have him at 36.
It was 23 targets and 6 catches for Kenny Stills. That is unbelievable.
23 targets. How's that even possible?
Right?
Were they all like 50 yards downfield or something?
From Taysom Hill. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, true. That's right. Oh, man.
And Trevor Siemian. Don't forget about Trevor Siemian.
Yeah. Yes.
All right.
The Trevor Siemian era.
But yeah, Jahan Dotson, it's always tough to trade for rookies in the period of time after the rookie draft. Because someone just drafted them.
If you're trying to trade for him, that person just drafted Dotson.
Exactly.
There's a good chance they're valuing him pretty highly.
Yeah, exactly.
True. Superflex, what is Jared Goff's value? Ooh, interesting.
Not much. Like, I think this is it. I think this is it. I think this is Jared Goff's last year.
Yeah.
I
think his value to the Lions is trying to secure that number 1 overall pick. That's what I think his value is.
I don't see Jared Goff being a starter in 2023.
No.
Yeah. I'm not a second. I wouldn't trade a 23 second for him. I would say go for someone else. Go for Jameis Winston. If you've got a 23 second to spare, like we were talking earlier, let's go send it for Winston.
I'd much rather have Jameis Winston.
Yeah.
I tried to get Goff from Peter Howard as my QB3, and I can't remember what I offered him, but he rejected it. And it wasn't enough. It wasn't a 23 second. It was something lower than that.
Yeah.
Open 24 hours. Hey, now when's the right time to trade away 23 first? Never. Trade them for vets or 23 rookies. I guess if I was going to go all in for a championship or something like that, and I felt like that was the only way I could do it, it would be during the season when I knew exactly who the right person to acquire would be for that.
That's true.
Yeah, November.
But still,
maybe.
never.
November.
Mid-season for elite assets, maybe.
Right. Yeah, and it better be legit elite assets, no doubt. But like Jacob says here, don't trade away those 23 first. Keep them around for a long time. Trade away J-Rob for Isaiah Spiller and a 23 fourth. Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
Burks in a 23 second or Devonta Smith in a 23 first.
Ouch. I'll take Smith in a first.
Yeah, I was say very easily Devonta Smith in a first for me.
I probably Smith over Burks.
I have Burks one spot ahead of Smith. But they're right there. So the 23 first makes it so easy.
I have Burks 9 spots ahead of Smith.
Yeah, you're very low on.
Oh, there's nothing to be high on, really. I mean, why on earth would you be high on Devonta Smith? What are you expecting?
Oh, I don't know. I mean,
explain how Devonta
Smith, first round pick,
right? Okay, so
Devonta Smith was with Jalen Hurts
as a rookie. He was pretty good, right? He had 104 targets, and now an AJ Brown nuclear in all 17 games, and now an AJ Brown nuclear-sized bomb is about to be dropped on him
to draw coverage away.
Doesn't matter. If he has 90 targets, he's just not that. He's not good enough. He's not good enough. He's not good enough.
There's the possibility that he pass more as well.
They'd have to pass a lot more, and I don't see it. Jalen Hurts is not a very good passer. His upside is to be the 20th best passer. That's the best case scenario. And I don't want that. I don't want the second receiver. Any team can support one elite weapon. Any team. But do they support other weapons beyond that one elite one? Not really. Not consistently. And I don't know.
If the targets are consolidated enough, he could still be a wide receiver 2. It might be a low-end wide receiver 2. But it's possible.
No, there's no chance. I have Devonta Smith for redraft at wide receiver 39. So and consensus has him in the 30s. I'm not crazy to have him ranked there. Yeah. I have him lower,
But that's because his ceiling is capped to a certain extent. But there's no reason why he can't be a wide receiver too.
I wanted to rank Devonta Smith at 50 something because that's what I think the actual outcome is. But I think that he's good. It felt wrong because Devonta Smith is good, but there's no upside at all. I mean, they'd have to become a completely different team.
But it's not like there's no questions on Burks. I guess that's like you're choosing between Devonta Smith and Burks.
Oh, I want the 23 first side anyway, because I'm not that high on Burks. So give me the 23 first. But the only reason I have to think about it is because Devonta Smith is not exciting to me.
ETN or Akers?
Akers.
ETN.
Oh.
They're back-to-back for me, but I have ETN ahead.
They're not back-to-back for me.
How far apart?
Yeah, I have ETN 7 spots behind Akers.
Oh, geez.
Well, I just don't
hate
know why
on Akers or love for Akers or hate on ETN?
Love for Akers. I think I have ETN about at his price. I just don't see Akers is younger than ETN and has actually shown that he can be good at some point in the NFL and is not on the Jaguars. So he's on the Rams, which we know that the running back in the Rams offense is a high upside role. The running back in the Jaguars offense, we have no idea what that means. I mean, that could be anything. I mean, Doug Peterson had some success with running backs, but he's also the one who misused running backs in the Miles Sanders era. So I don't know. You could take that one way or another way. Yeah, but
also, Cam Akers might not catch very many passes at all. The Rams are a little bit more pass heavy in the red zone now than they were before with Matthew Stafford. That's my
worried about it.
Ed is glad that he clicked that bell and turned on notifications. Yeah, because he got his Taco Tuesday reminder. Make sure you are like Ed and welcome in, Ed. Glad you're here. Nicholas, another Elijah Moore, Devonta Smith. I know obviously where Tyler's going to fall on this.
Yes.
Why?
I also have Elijah Moore ahead.
Someone came after me on Twitter today saying that they thought that Devonta Smith was better, and I just couldn't agree because I actually saw that Elijah Moore has legitimate upside to do something that I care about, whereas Devonta Smith has never shown it. Never. He's never been fantasy anything. I mean, he was just okay. But if you started Devonta Smith as a rookie, you're not happy. Did he even what'd he give you? Whereas Elijah Moore had that 6-week stretch where he was a wide receiver 1. So to me, it's easy. And I'm much more scared of AJ Brown than I am of Garrett Wilson.
Nice talk about sleepers and late players for people who play in deep dynasty. There's 92 teams with 4 copies. Let's talk about it, Lamb. Throw us out with whoever you want to talk about. Let's do it. Would you trade George Pickens, and a 24 first for Elijah Moore?
I just don't make trades like this. I don't do this. So no. If I trade future first, I want something a lot better than that. So you won't see me ever make a trade like this.
I'd say in a vacuum, I would just trying to assess the value of the Pickens in the 24 first for Elijah Moore, but it is an awkward trade.
It is.
But
yeah.
I do like Elijah Moore side out of that.
12-team Superflex, Tony Pollard, or your favorite player, Tyler, Clyde Edwards-Helaire.
Yeah, I'll take Clyde.
Yeah, all right. We got him to take Clyde.
But Clyde.
Nice. Don't draft narrow range of outcome players later in the draft. That's the spot where you want the biggest range of outcomes.
That's what I said.
This is my favorite game now every week. BJ comes up with a random player to ask me who he plays for. I would like for anybody to answer this. Travis, I don't even know what your name is.
I don't know who that is.
I'm gonna offend somebody. This sounds like a Chargers player. I have no idea.
I don't know who that is. To be honest, I really don't.
Do you know, Wyatt?
I've got no clue.
Oh wait, let's see.
Should I Google?
That's what we're gonna do here. Oh, you should know this, Tyler.
Why?
24-year-old wide receiver for your New York Giants.
Why would I know that? Do you think I pay more attention to the Giants than other teams?
Yes.
I try not to.
It's good.
Jacob Peterson. This is fun. BJ's got some great questions here. I love it. Perfect mid-June type questions. Trying to tier up at wide receiver, 12 team, Superflex, Happy VR, start 9, Cooper, Hollywood, Monra, Gabe Davis, Galladay, Garrett Wilson. Who could I realistically target for 2 of my guys?
Tier up from which part of the set of wide
receivers? This is a very big question.
What could you get if you traded Gabe Davis and Cooper? Let's say.
Well, I would trade Cooper anyway. This is just let's reframe this question, because this is not the way I like to play. We don't think about it this way. What we think about is we look at the players we have and we're like, do we want those players at their general market price, or do we not want those players at their general market price? So of these players, Hollywood, Amon-Ra, and Garrett Wilson, I actually like at their current market prices. Amari Cooper is probably the biggest hard sell to me in all of Dynasty, so I don't want him. Gabe Davis, I'm like okay with, and Galladay is irrelevant to me. So when you look at it, instead of looking at it the way this question is asked, just look at it that way and try to make a deal to get rid of Amari Cooper and make that your priority.
I'm assuming if he's trying to tier up, then he's trying to make a move to compete, if I had to guess. So I would say, trading Amari Cooper, maybe package him with like Gabe Davis, who has a lot of hype behind him, and maybe go after like Mike Evans, who we just talked about earlier, who has the potential to be a top 5 wide receiver this year.
With the amount of Gabe Davis hype, you can get more than Mike Evans for Amari Cooper and Gabe Davis.
I mean, yeah, depending on your league mates, you probably could.
That's so funny you say that. I was literally just thinking like that's exactly what like that exact trade you just said. Gabe Davis and Amari Cooper for Mike Evans. What about could you get Terry McLaurin for Amari Cooper and Gabe Davis, or is that too high?
I'd rather have Mike Evans than Terry McLaurin. I don't want Terry McLaurin.
I have McLaurin higher in my ranking, so I mean I would like it, but yeah, I mean I think that just depends on your league mates at that point and how they feel about Terry, how they feel about Mike Evans. I think, but I think that's in the range of things you could get.
Yeah, I think that's probably good. Yeah, something in that range, Jacob. I think that's yeah. Okay, Tyler, Cal, can you name every team Fitzmagic has played for?
Bring up the list.
Can you do this for real?
No. But let's see how many I can get.
Let's go. I love it.
All right.
Let do it. Hang on. Let me get there.
Tell me when you're ready.
Drum roll.
Oh, he's not showing up in the
all right.
Here.
Come on.
I was fast with the other one. This one is I didn't realize he would go out of the player pool here. Hang on, I'm almost there.
Let me know when you're ready.
I'm good. Go ahead.
All right. Bills, Jets. That's 2 of them.
Yeah.
And then there was also the Washington,
the
Dolphins. And then I believe he started his career on the Rams. Is there any time on the Rams?
He did. Yes.
Yeah, there was time on the Rams. So what's that? 5?
Yeah.
Yeah, I got the Bills, the Jets, and the Dolphins. Those are the 3 in the AFC East. And then
there's 9. There's 9.
9?
Mm-hmm.
Played for 9 teams?
Mm-hmm.
Man, I don't remember him playing for 9 teams. Those are the ones I actually remember.
Buccaneers.
Yeah. Oh yeah, it was the Jameis time on the Buccaneers. Yep. Damn, what else? What other teams did he play for? I don't know. Those are the ones I remember.
Houston. I don't think we named him.
When did he play for Houston?
Started 12 games for Houston.
When was that?
Let's see. That was 2014. Houston.
Okay. Take your word for it.
Started for the Tennessee Titans.
He did.
I don't remember that one at all.
I don't remember that.
That was 2013. That's the year before. And Cincinnati.
Oh, yeah. I should have gotten that one.
Yeah.
I don't remember that.
12 games for the Cincinnati Bengals.
That's
good stuff. Nicholas, 12 team, 1 QB rebuild. What should I trade next? I got Kyler, Walker, White, Burks, Wilson, Pickens, Bell, Shakir, Ross, Goddard, Albert O, Tanyan, and so this one's a tough one. I get the feeling Nicholas really likes rookies, like no matter what the year is, and wants to load up. Like all of our interactions says he really likes these young players, these deep rookie stashes.
I'd trade Alberto.
I was going to say the same thing.
Yeah. Really, Alberto.
I'm trying to get off him if I have him.
Alberto's only value is based on hype. He's never actually done anything at all. So players like that are always scary.
And they just spent higher draft capital on another tight end.
Yeah, that's true.
Good idea right there. Trey, redraft half and full PPR leagues. How would you rank CEH, Miles Sanders, and Cordell Patterson? Patterson last among this group.
Sanders, CEH, Patterson.
Yeah, that's the order I have it. But I have Sanders at 27, CEH
it's not great.
at 30, and Patterson at lower, 37.
Jaweb says, I'm trying to come up with a question, but can't. I'm top dog in both leagues. Today, I even masterminded a 3-way trade that got me a 23 first and second for the 102 and a 10-team 1 QB. Now I have 3 first and 2 seconds. Great job, Jaweb.
Brag post.
Yep.
I should do that more often, I think.
What is it? The student has become the master here, Jaweb. There we go.
When the student is ready, the teacher will appear.
Eric says, I don't do Twitter, just Instagram and Facebook. Follow me on Instagram.
Get
Eric.
on Twitter. Get on Twitter.
Yeah.
Get on Twitter. I think, why would you want to be on Facebook? Facebook is terrible.
Follow me on Instagram, Eric.
Instagram is cool, but I don't use
Calvin
it.
and Hobby, I think is my
you can follow me on Instagram. My first picture on Instagram is a picture of a cat on a leash. That my neighbors, they think that the hallway is a place to walk cats on leashes.
Oh, it's the Calvin and Hobby. You could see videos of my kids playing baseball there. So there we go.
I follow you on Instagram.
Something to look forward to. Carl's 10-team Superflex PPR was offered Jerry Jeudy, 23 second, Damian Pierce for my DeAndre Swift. What are your thoughts?
For Swift.
Tell the other manager to shove it up their ass.
Yeah, that's not enough.
That's my thoughts on this offer. It's a terrible offer. Tell them to decline it.
There's a part 2 here.
Yeah.
Oh, there's a part 2.
Yeah.
I wonder what my reaction to part 2 is going to be.
If you're trying to move Swift for a wide receiver plus 23 second, what wide receivers would you target? So you got to add the 23 second in there.
I don't think I'm going to do that. DeAndre Swift is not. I have never seen DeAndre Swift sold in a deal that I was happy with.
Yeah, it would have to be like CeeDee Lamb or AJ Brown for me.
Jalen Waddle,
something like that. Yeah, I would take it with Waddle as well.
I personally wouldn't, but
I
couldn't fault you for it at least.
I wonder what that looks like in the trade finder. I mean, the trade analyzer.
I wonder. You can put it in and find out.
One of those amazing tools over at DLF.
That's right. Company man right there. I appreciate that.
Well, that's, we have a lot of those tools because of Addison. I think a lot of people don't know that, actually. A lot of people don't know that Addison actually helped make a lot of those tools. People probably know him better for his role on the YouTube channel, but Addison actually really helps with a lot of those tools. So we have him to thank for that. So I really appreciate Addison.
Yep, absolutely. It does look like that's about the right value there, somewhere around Waddle. Oscar Payton, Lim. Okay, I didn't know. I kept saying Lyman. I was adding that in there, but Lim, like him, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, very good. Sean says traded away Swift for 223 first, 209, and a 23 second, and Russell Gage. Even though I'm a contender, 12-team Superflex. What are your thoughts?
You'll never get more, so I'm fine taking it.
Yeah.
How much of a contender? Would it matter?
Not really, but I guess I could,
With getting that kind of draft capital, you could, if you find yourself in a pinch with a need for another player, you now have 223 first to get some amount of production back on your roster.
That almost sounds like something that someone said on a podcast that they have recently. I don't know. It just kind of sounds familiar. I don't know where I might have heard it.
Me?
I don't know
Did I say that?
No. That was your cue to plug it.
Josh says, middle of the pack, young team.
I was listening to it earlier today to prepare on the show. I do that a lot. Like when I thought
you were bragging on yourself there, Tyler. My bad. I didn't know you were bragging on Wyatt. My bad.
No.
Yeah, plug it, Wyatt.
I'll save self-promotion for that. JWB Dynasty Digest. You can find it on YouTube.
a lot of the times when I have guests on the show, I listen to some of their podcasts to prepare for some of their takes that I both agree with and disagree with. Just so I can be ready.
I'm waiting for the one that you dislike of mine, so you can pounce on it.
There were plenty that I agreed and disagreed with. But I just wanted to be ready, and I also just like to get a good idea, especially if it's someone I haven't talked to. And it's also good, like support other people's content. Like we should do that.
Absolutely.
Middle of the pack team, young, 14 team Superflex. League is reluctant to move 23 first, but I was offered 23 first and Elijah Moore for Dalvin Cook, Ertz, and 210. I think it's a home run.
Yeah, it's a home run for the Moore side. Yeah, absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I mean, you're not going to do better than this for selling Cook, so go for it.
In unison there, seems like. Tyler Nelson, 12 team Superflex. How should I value each position with this scoring? Running back, okay, 0.25, excuse me. So a quarter of a point per carry, 1 point per reception for wide receiver, 1 point. Oh, no.
This question is not something we can answer.
Wide receivers are more than running backs in this? Okay.
This question is too complicated for this. Like, this is a question that requires an entire article to answer.
It would switch my rankings at the top of my rankings to make.
Yeah, I mean, it would switch my rankings, but like, at
a certain point, it wouldn't really affect my rankings much. But when you talk about like the top running backs, like I would want Najee higher because of those carries.
Yeah.
I mean, I have Najee pretty high to begin with, but like he would come up even more because we know he's going to get a bunch of carries.
He'd definitely go up over Swift for sure in this.
I will say for questions for this show, the more specific, the better. And if they're strategy questions, I don't know how to say this, but like if it's more of a strategy type thing, it's easier to answer. This type of question is very difficult to answer on the spot.
This helps Chubb, Wyatt.
It sure does.
It does, yeah.
Yeah.
I think he's the kind of running back. I mean, like the first name that came to mind doesn't even like apply right now, but like last year I would have been thinking about like Josh Jacobs or who I knew was going to get carried.
Damien Harris,
maybe.
Damien Harris. Sony Michel, maybe he works himself into a place where you could be a sleeper.
It's not a carry. I don't know about that one.
Elijah Mitchell.
Maybe.
I mean, this type of format helps him.
Yeah,
at least.
Yeah,
for sure. There we go. AJ Dillon. I just keep thinking
maybe he's less so.
Clarence Boddicker 109 and Darren Waller for why is there like I feel like we don't get questions about that involve Tanyan for like months, and then all of a sudden this is like the second time I've read his name.
He's the player of the day today, I would say. No, that's actually a good idea. We'll have a player of the day. We'll at the end of the show, I'll declare the player of the show, and then if you like it, if you watch till the end of the show, we'll see who it is. It could be Tanyan or it could go another way. At the end of the show, I'll declare a player of the day. If you like it, use that with hashtag AskDLF on Twitter, and then we'll see. It'll be a good way to get my attention.
But even just with 109 and Darren Waller for Tanyan 23 first and 23 second, I feel like I want that side with a 23 first and second.
It's so hard to do that, but I see that the 23 first just has so much more upside than the other things.
Yeah, 109's past that tier where,
way past,
and Waller's at that point where it's like, I
mean, in a Superflex non-tight end premium, which is what it sounds like this is, Waller is really not very appealing to me.
Mm-hmm.
I think because it's not tight end premium, I want the 21st side. If it was tight end premium, it'd be pretty close for me.
Yeah, I agree. If it's non-tight end premium, the value is probably with Waller, even if I don't really want to take that side.
P to the R says, Happy Taco Tuesdays. Excited about it. Appreciate you joining us here. What's up, gentlemen? Great to see you all. Matt Harmon likes Tolbert also, so I'm definitely in. Another contender for player of the show, Jalen Tolbert.
Yes, I feel like Matt Harmon gets talked about on this show without his name being mentioned like more than anyone else, because we always talk about red. We talk about red with Juju. Juju's everything is red. Everything is bad. And when I say everything is red, I mean that according to Matt Harmon's chart, Juju is never open. He loses every route because he sucks. So that's always what I mean, but I often forget to mention that we're talking about Matt Harmon's chart there. But yes, that is what I'm talking about when I say Juju is all red and Deontay's all green.
It was somebody at DLF I first heard talk about Tolbert. I'd love to give.
I mean, I've been talking about him the whole time, but
now this was like it might have been Ken. This is like way back. I had rookie drafts that took place before the NFL draft that I was
take Malik Willis in any of them.
And no, I didn't have that early of pick in those leagues. Fortunately,
a humble brag.
I probably would have.
Yeah.
Gosh, Shane Arnold Dynasty have Gallup. Would you guys drop him for man of the show, Tolbert or Alec Pierce?
No, but also, what kind of dynasty league are we in that you would drop that these players are on waivers? This doesn't sound like dynasty. Yeah,
gotta be a little shallow.
How shallow would it have to be? Like, these players should not be on waivers in like any dynasty league. So I'm a little confused here.
Randy talking about Tyler Algier being the sleeper RB of the year. I just feel like this is when we argued about like Mike Davis and who was the other one. Like
he is just Mike Davis, basically. They're like clones of each other.
Right. Him and like Ito Smith, I think that we argued about for like a month on Twitter. And I just feel like it's like the next version of that.
Ito Smith.
He's just like a plotting running back. Yeah, he can like catch the ball okay, but he's just nothing exciting about his game.
Mariota's not throwing it to him. Like, it's not like, I just don't.
Ritter's not either.
Yeah, exactly. I don't see the upside at all.
I don't get it with Tyler Algier at all. So
I don't get it.
Not for me.
Best ball on a trade away, Trey Lance and Bellinger for Trevor Lawrence and Bateman this week.
Ooh, you did a very good job.
I love that.
Love that.
Yep. Cody saying Dotson might be a steal in rookie drafts.
I thought he was a steal in rookie drafts before. I mean, I thought he was undervalued before because of his first round draft capital that people weren't recognizing. So if Terry McLaurin somehow gets moved like to the moon on Jahan Dotson, and then maybe Addison's Penn State bias would have actually paid off.
Kittle and 23 first for Pitts. Who wins? Should I send that for Pitts?
Pitts.
Try it. Yeah.
Yeah, Pitts.
What do you think, Wyatt?
I don't think it's quite as simple as Pitts just off the bat, but Pitts.
Yeah, no, I will say, if anyone watching the show wonders, a lot of times these answers are more complicated. Right. But if I did my Tyler rant on every question, then we would only get to like 20 of them.
Yeah. So I'll quickly say just like Pitts's on the field value is not where we would hope it to be. I think or there's a chance it can be. Like he could just be like tight end 7 again, but his market value is going to stay as tight end 1. Yeah, for that reason. Yeah.
Just to show you people argue about anything on Twitter, I did like this stupid, like just sarcastic post today about like, wow, Cooper Kupp is only 72 months older than Justin Jefferson. Like, and there's people arguing in the mentions there, like underneath it. I'm like, this is such a stupid post that I just found funny. There's nothing serious. There's no analysis going on.
That is Twitter, though. That's a little microcosm of Twitter.
Twitter is a brutal place. That's what I've learned. It's a brutal place.
Who's a player that surprises you? He's being drafted as low as he is. I'm going to take this as not rookie drafts. I'll take it as in startups.
So we're talking about a player who I think should be much higher, who is not. Trey McBride is one of the players looking at my ranks. I have him 36 spots higher than his ADP. Josh Palmer, I have 40 spots higher than his ADP. So there's one. Oh, wow. You'll never believe who I have 35 spots higher than his ADP. Someone I hate, but apparently the community hates him more. Terrace Marshall.
Oh.
Terrace Marshall.
You're digging
but that's
deep
got to be
here.
so far back that like...
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, I have him at 168 and ADP has him at 203. So those are a couple. And then some of them the ADP hasn't updated, like Darrell Williams didn't have an ADP, but he obviously should. So if he was on waivers, it's too late to pick him up now, I'm sure, but he's someone that I was kind of looking at.
Any names jump to mind for you here, Wyatt?
I think Tyler did a good job of it, but I don't know. I don't have the ADP in front of me right now, but I'd like Michael Pittman, like I said, is someone who's been climbing for me, but he's also now starting to climb up. I think
he's not that much.
So like, I don't think he's a value anymore. He was at one point, I think, a very big value, but that one's kind of going away.
I think we've overcorrected too much on Brandon Ayuk.
I have Brandon Ayuk higher than his ADP, but not that much higher. His ADP is not that 36? Low.
What's his ADP right now?
It's 70. Why was it 36? It just feels like that's too big of a swing.
I've got him at is Superflex or 1 QB?
That's 1 QB.
That's 1 QB. Sorry. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I've got him right in line there.
I have him at 31.
Yeah.
I'm a believer.
Wide receiver 31. I am 37. So, but I'm still in that range of where he's being drafted.
Yeah, Brandon Ayuk or Allen Robinson.
Not Allen Robinson. It's never Allen Robinson.
I have Ayuk higher.
Yeah, he's going like Allen Robinson's going 10 spots higher in ADP.
Yeah, Allen Robinson is someone I have 20 spots below their ADP. So he's someone I don't want. I don't get it. I mean, he looked why is he ranked so high? I mean, he's going to be 29 before the season starts, and he looked cooked all of last year.
Maybe he's going to breakfast with Stafford. Maybe that's...
he better get in that breakfast because he's not going to be good any other way.
Jared sent the 102 for Hurts. Then I got a 23 first for Zach Wilson. Then sent Claypool and a 23 second for a 23 first. This is the way.
Yeah, of these, the first and third deals are excellent. The second one is just okay. And a super flex, I'd probably, if I had Zach Wilson, I wouldn't just sell Zach Wilson for a single 23 first. So yeah, the second one's just okay. The first and the third are big wins.
I agree with that.
Elijah Mitchell hype, says Addison.
Yeah. I didn't expect them to draft Tyrion Davis-Price though. And
I just think that's more the like Raheem Mostert go to special teams for a couple of years and then he'll surface later in life.
They're a team that wants to run the ball a lot, and they know that they can't give Debo the ball as running back much anymore. So they have to have, and Trey Sermon ain't it. So they had to get somebody to be able to be in that backfield with Mitchell. It's not necessarily a slight to Mitchell. I think it's a slight to everybody else behind Mitchell and the fact that they have to make up that they can't run the ball with Debo anymore.
Sure, but there are other ways to get backup running backs. And, third round picks are valuable. You can spend them on anything, and running backs you can find anywhere. So I do think that the fact that they chose to spend some of their limited draft capital on a running back is not a good sign. But
they also did that with Trey Sermon.
Oh, I know. And then
so that's what I mean. Like in general, I agree with you, but sometimes I think like we have to look at that team and see like,
well, they wanted Trey Sermon to be the guy. He just sucked. Maybe Tyrion Davis-Price will be good. Then maybe he'll have some opportunity, or at least a chance to do something.
But we also know Elijah Mitchell is good.
Yeah, that's why I have Elijah Mitchell ranked a lot higher.
Yeah.
Yeah. I like it, Addison. Keep the hype going. Rank these for redraft. Rashad White. Too many
players.
Alexander Madison, Carter, Williams, Rojo. Who's your favorite out of those, and plus Darrell Henderson?
Probably. Who do I have ranked the highest?
Hold on. I'm blowing up my redraft.
Of these, it's nonsensical to a degree, but I actually have Michael Carter ranked the highest of this group. But
I do too.
They're back there. All of them are between 40 and 47. I believe they're all in that range, along with the other players in that range are James Robinson and Isaiah Spiller. So they're all in that range.
I'm like right in line with you there, Tyler, of how they are and where they are.
Yeah, but this is whatever. In most redraft formats, you're probably not drafting those guys.
As we were talking about Burks, I kept thinking I wanted to mention this, but then like I never felt like there was the right time, and then we spent so much time on Burks. But this is why, if anybody was wondering, this is why people are worried. The asthma attack. Only reason. And he came a little overweight, apparently, according to reports, to camp. So there's other reasons even in his profile, but this is the most recent reason why somebody might be asking, like, hey, should I be freaking out about Burks? Okay. Damon says, hey, guys, Madison and a third or Melvin Gordon. I'm the Javante manager.
Madison and a third.
I guess. I feel like
third's going to be the only thing worth anything. Third's going to be the only thing worth anything next year.
True. Josh is wide receiver that's outside the top 24 in Dynasty has the best chance to be wide receiver 1 in a Dynasty or in a startup next year.
Outside the top 24. So just go to the ADP and start from 25, and we'll see.
Okay.
I think it is.
Go. All right. Let's see. Wide receiver 25 is Marquise Brown. He will never be the wide receiver 1 in startup.
He'll never be, not the, but he'll never be a wide receiver 1 in startup.
People hate him too much for that to happen.
No, he doesn't. He can't do that.
Is Bateman outside the top 24 right now?
He is.
I think that's a pretty good one.
He's someone who could have a chance at that.
Only if he gets traded to the Cardinals.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's see. Devonta Smith?
No chance. Zero. There's zero chance.
I agree with that.
Yeah.
Zero.
These are like the only ones that have a chance are the ones that get the guys that are young here. And
Amon-Ra, no. I don't think so.
I don't think there's any of these names that
I think Bateman's the one.
Yeah, Bateman's the one. Also,
actually, he's 22. Sorry, he's 22.
Nope. Yeah, just looking at my list, I mean, Sky Moore could do it if he's good. I mean, he has a good.
I was going to say any of the rookies outside the top 24.
If he's good,
the first round receivers, and like Sky Moore.
Christian Watson could do it.
I
mean, it's possible, but I don't think it's going to happen for him personally.
Wan'Dale Robinson.
No.
Yeah, no. None of these guys are jumping Chase and Jefferson, I wouldn't imagine. So
no, we're not talking about the wide receiver 1. He wants to know what a wide receiver 1.
OBA. I'm sorry. Yeah. I read this as the.
But even Hollywood Brown is never going to be a wide receiver 1.
Probably
Devonta Smith in his current situation is not going to be a wide receiver 1.
Ayuk's been one before.
Not Dynasty. He never.
Yeah, he was going in that range last year, wasn't he?
I don't think he ever cracked top 12. I think he topped out around 18 or 19.
Okay. It was somewhere in there.
But yeah, of the ones in that range, I mean, Sky Moore is the one that I think actually could do it.
Very good. Let's see. 12 teams who reflects which side, Devonta Smith and 23 first or Tyreek Hill.
Here's the test for Tyler.
Well, now's the time to move on from Tyreek Hill. So I think by this time next year, the 23 first, let's say it's mid is going to be worth more than Tyreek Hill. So I'll take that side, and then you can just sell Devonta Smith.
I like Smith on the first.
Same here. 109 plus 23 first plus Knox for Mark Andrews. 2 first and Dawson Knox. No tight end premium.
I'll still take Mark Andrews.
Close. Give me the first.
I'm gonna take the other side. Yeah, the 2 first and Knox.
Andrews is hard to replace.
It's too much. I love Andrews, but with the idea that passing game, the pie could shrink a lot this season. I feel like if you can get this package for him now, I would do it.
I'll take Andrews.
I still think it's gonna be good, but I just think this is.
I don't know why his target share would decrease. Hollywood went away.
Not share, just the overall pie
volume.
I mean, I guess, but Tyler Huntley was so bad at passing the ball. Like, he threw it a lot, but I'm not sure.
Mark Andrews was better when Tyler Huntley was playing.
I'm aware of that. That actually makes me optimistic that, he was so bad, yet Mark Andrews was still good.
Yeah, but like he went from 58 receptions to 107.
Yeah. And now Hollywood's 160 targets plus are gone and not replaced with anything. Usually they're replaced with something, but this time they're replaced with nothing.
But I'm saying the pie could shrink. Look, I like Mark Andrews.
I think it's going to shrink. But
I'm not arguing against Mark Andrews. I just think I'm getting 2 first for him. I'll take that.
I just think you'll never be able to. You can't replace something like this. You can't find it again. You can't find another tight end like that. It's hard. There aren't many. difference-making tight ends. If you either have one or you don't, and there aren't 12 of them, I'll take Andrews.
12-team Superflex, Burrow in 23 seconds, or Herbert.
I like Herbert better, but not that much better. So I'll take Burrow in the 3 seconds.
I'll take Herbert.
I was going to say Herbert. I don't think
when Sean Payton's his coach next year,
move it enough for me.
When Sean Payton's coaching him next year, he's going to be to the moon. I got Trey McBride, Dawson Knox, and Alberto. Any of these guys have top 5 upside this year?
Save time. Answer this with a no and move on to the next question.
Alberto.
No, we
Colin Jones, Derrick Henry is 400 carries away from the dreaded 1,800 carry total, but no one seems to care. Do we wait till the wheels fall off or trade him 2 years ago?
I mean, the wheels fell off last year when he missed time. So I don't know. I would trade him now. But like,
I don't even know what you could get at this time. But
there are still people who are not on the Tyler plan, and they treat it like they play Dynasty like it's redraft. And
I mean, I think I have Derrick Henry fairly highly, but I know that I'm not going to be able to get anything worth where I have him ranked.
Well, I could definitely get where I have Derrick Henry ranked. So, I can get that. But yeah, if you have him ranked higher, then probably not. But yeah, I would try to move on. I don't know.
If Derrick Henry's still on my roster, I was probably a competing roster.
Right.
So
right.
If I was a competing roster last year, there's no way Derrick Henry stayed on it. I would have ditched him to go for something else to compete more when he was injured. So there's no way he stayed on my roster. So I don't know there's no roster I could have. No team I ran ever. No team I actually am responsible for would have Derrick Henry. The only way I'd have to deal with Derrick Henry is if I'm helping someone else and I'm inheriting Derrick Henry.
Tyler, take the reins after I ask this question on the find where we are. Iron Never Lies. Hi, which side? Lamar and a 23 first, or AJ Brown and Gibson?
Lamar and a 23. This has got to be super flex, right? I mean, if it's not, then it's easily AJ Brown, but I assume it is. So
yeah, just format dependent.
Yeah, but it's got to be super flex. I'm sorry that you have the same tight ends. Is it a good time to buy Godwin for a rebuilder? I know he's 26, which is not that old, so I'm not too high on him for my situation. Yeah, I would say it's a pretty good time to buy Godwin for a rebuilder. He's not my first target. There are other players that I would probably target more, but yeah, I'm fine with that. Depends on what you have to pay, though.
Yeah, I mean, his price is probably about as low as it's been in a long time. So if there's going to be a time to buy on him, it's right now.
It is now, yeah. Okay. I have Dynasty, Patterson, Adams, Carr, Cooks, Dalvin Cook, and Schultz. Trying to see what I can get for these guys. Well, I mean, you can trade them. But yeah, in general, it's, again, questions like this, like, I have no idea who in your league has what combination of assets. So it's tough. Specific trade offers are generally better. Okay, Edward. Happy Taco Tuesday. Thank you. I can't believe that I've allowed Taco Tuesday to persist for this long, but it's taken on a life of its own, even beyond what I want. How much on top of Elijah Moore would you add to get to Deontay Johnson?
I wouldn't. If I was trying to get Deontay Johnson, I would just send Elijah Moore.
That won't work, right? I mean, I have Deontay Johnson very high.
I have him 2 spots apart. I have Deontay at 15 and Moore at 17.
I have him 10 spots apart. I have Deontay at 11 and Moore at 21.
Got you, Eric. Lamb and Claypool or Swift?
Essentially, to me, Lamb and Swift are identical values, so I'll take Lamb and Claypool. I don't really like Claypool, but it's enough.
Claypool, yeah.
I saw some Claypool comparisons for Jalen Tolbert today. That might have been Debro. I was watching that.
Maybe
said that. Interesting. T-Law or Deontay Johnson in 201 in a 12-team super flex.
Lawrence.
Yeah.
Lawrence for me too. Antonio Gibson and Tyrion Lannister, or Clyde Edwards-Helaire and a 23 first, 12-team PPR, Superflex, non-tight end premium.
It's easy. 23 first over Gibson and Clyde over Tyrion Davis-Price. So 23 first.
Agreed, Wyatt?
Yeah.
Very good. Let's see. Kittle and 23 first for
Did
Pitts.
this already.
Yeah, we did this one.
Yeah.
Which this is again, if for Andrews, if I'm getting 2 first, I don't know. If I can get combine a first.
I like Andrews. I'm very high on Andrews.
14-team Superflex, start 9. What else would you need on top of Chase in a deal where you're moving Swift and Zach Wilson?
So the question is, if I'm moving Zach Wilson and Swift for Chase, what would I need with Swift and Wilson or with Chase? Let's see. No, it's 14 team. It's 14 team. It's 14 team Superflex. So Zach Wilson is worth a lot more than usual. Not that he's equal in value to Swift, but like Zach Wilson normally is worth, I have him similar in value to guys like Devontae Adams, Tyreek Hill, older guy, like that range. In a 14 team Superflex, I'd say Zach Wilson is worth more like Jalen Waddle, DK Metcalf value. So if you think about it that way, then you probably need something at least decent with Chase.
First seems like too much, though.
Yeah, you won't get a first. So it's probably going to be like a player, maybe another quarterback. Like, could you do, well, it's hard to know. I don't know what the other team has, but Chase and Kenny Pickett for Swift and Zach Wilson? Maybe. Might try that.
What about,
Seems like a little much for me.
Well, we're getting Chase plus here. So we want to get as much as possible.
Oh, yeah. Well,
yeah. So that's what I would try.
Could you get one like 110 or 111 or something like that in this draft?
Well, I mean, yeah, Kenny Pickett could be around that range, but I don't know, 110 or 111. I'm careful about moving quarterbacks in 14 team Superflex. I really don't want to do this unless I'm getting a quarterback back. It's just not worth it.
12-team full point PPR. Would you trade Tyreek for Marquise Hollywood Brown and a 24 first as a contender?
Yes. Tyreek Hill is a hard sell for me. And I don't like where I have him ranked. I think he should be lower, but it feels weird to rank him much lower. And in Dynasty, I have Tyreek Hill at 14, which even that feels too high. But
I feel like you can get more than this.
Can you? People are down on Hill.
It's a little light for me. Hill.
If it's hard. I know I'm gonna like the other side better in a year. I just know. There's no way that I'm gonna like the Hill side. Hill's value is about to go out the window. So
Kittle for Dalton Schultz and a 23 first. Yay or nay?
Yeah, unless there's a very heavy tight end premium, I'll take Schultz in the first.
Yeah, Schultz in the 21st.
Would you trade A.J. Brown for Mark Andrews, 12-team Superflex?
No.
Not me.
No, I'd rather have A.J. Brown. It's very clear from the discussion in the Devonta Smith section what I feel about. Even for redraft, I still have A.J. Brown ranked high. Like part of the reason that I have Devonta Smith at 39 is because I have A.J. Brown at 7.
I feel like I'm taking crazy pills here. A.J. Brown is the 12th player off the board in startups.
Sounds about right.
Where is Andrews? At 23?
Yeah. So A.J. Brown then. With the ADP and my ranks.
Didn't you? That's one QB. I guess this is super flex, but
yeah, A.J. Brown with my ranks. Yeah.
Okay. Traded up to pick 12 because Dotson was still there.
Works for me. I like that.
Did an all in to win trade.
Usually I don't like those.
Gave an early 23 first, 25 first, and Jameson Williams. Received Javonte Williams, MVS, Rondale Moore, and is this Carson Strong?
Pierre Strong.
Pierre Strong, whoever Strong. Yeah, no.
Can't do it. I just can't risk it. Can't risk it. That early 23 first, I can't risk it.
I don't know what the value is, but this is just not the way I play.
Let me put it this way.
Yeah.
If that 23 first is 101 and it's Bijan Robinson, it's going to be worth more than everything else in this trade combined, including Javonte Williams.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean,
crazy
Javonte Williams is my favorite asset in the trade, just like as a singular thing. But everything after Javonte is all such a question mark that I don't like that side because of it.
Let me say this: if Jonathan Taylor has something happen to him, as of now, I expect Bijan Robinson to enter the NFL as the RB2 in Dynasty. So it's Bijan Robinson could be the first player that I can remember is not that much in his way of entering the NFL as the Dynasty RB1. He's not that far away from that. He's one Jonathan Taylor ACL away.
Which we hope doesn't happen.
We hope doesn't happen. But I fully expect that Bijan Robinson is going to enter the NFL ranked higher than Javonte Williams.
Ja Webb says Treylon
burst.
I like that. A lot better than Treylon bust. Let's not have that.
Javonte Williams was not a special running back prospect by any means. He was great, but not Bijan Robinson is special.
Sure.
Of course. Dak or Fields and a 24 first.
I'll take Dak. No,
I have to
QB.
take Dak. Yeah, take Dak.
I'm with you. Could Wan'Dale finish as a wide receiver 2 or 3?
No, I don't see how. Daniel Jones is not good. He runs, which takes away from all the receivers.
There's so many hurdles on his way to finishing as a wide receiver 2 or 3.
I think it would be a miracle if anyone finishes a wide receiver 2 or 3. And is he even going to be a starter?
Yeah, I mean, he's wide receiver 3 at best on the team. And then there's Saquon also catching passes. And then you've got Daniel Jones and that offense and that offensive line.
Yeah, this is going to be, the whole thing's going to be a disaster. So no. I do like Wan'Dale Robinson a lot long term, but this year, no.
If both play 17 games this year, Wan'Dale or Tony?
Tony.
Yeah.
Tony,
I would love to see a universe where Tony plays all 17 games. Like, I just would like to see
and actually gets utilized.
Right. I just think that Kadarius Toney just cannot stay out of his own way.
Yeah.
So I actually have Wan'Dale Robinson ranked higher in Dynasty against all of the numbers. The numbers all say I should have Kadarius Toney ranked higher, but I refuse to do it because I think that this is just one of those times where I feel like the numbers are saying no. And I just wrote an article about this for DLF. It just came out. That's why we're talking about it. It's on the site. It's my Dynasty Battle series. Like everything says you should rank Kadarius Toney higher, but I just feel like I'm right. And I didn't.
Josh Jacobs in 23 second or Travis Etienne. Jeremy asked this last time. It was very patient to try and see what we thought here. Appreciate that, Jeremy.
Etienne.
I agree.
I'm not a Josh Jacobs guy at all, personally.
Me neither. I used to be, but then they declined the 5th-year option and drafted some Wyatt, and then I wasn't anymore.
Yeah.
Boy, Etienne is one of those players that, like, I mean, there's so many things. Gosh, there's just so many ways you can look at Etienne.
There are.
So many ways.
That's the exciting part of the game, isn't it?
I'm so fascinated to see what's going to happen with him this year.
Well, you'll find out.
Well, yeah, hopefully. Man Football 2023, 12-team Superflex, start 10 PPR, roster size 25, and 3 taxi rookie players. Which, by the way, I would just say, like, I like having the amount of taxi squad players be equal to the amount of rookie rounds you have. So if you have 5 rounds, have 5 taxi players. But that's a separate.
I support that message.
Yeah. What's the ideal roster construction? I've loaded up on backup running backs with all the injuries to backs. Got 13 running backs. Yeah. Running backs over wide receivers.
You always want to have more running backs. Yeah. Typically.
Yeah, at the bottom of your roster. Yeah. Take shots on the guys who could find their way into opportunity.
Right. Yeah. Or who all of a sudden are worth a 23 second because.
Yep. Just churn the bottom of your roster into draft capital.
Yep. Bingo. Anything else to add there? Let's see. In a 12-team Superflex.
No, nothing else to add.
Pretty decent size rosters. So, like, maybe adding
300
some
players, 300 player pool.
Some backup
300 in the player pool there. So that's pretty small, actually. Well, No, it's not that small.
Is Higgins worth a 23 first?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
I think so.
Isn't he up to like wide receiver 6 now?
But that's crazy.
Like,
that's crazy.
I mean, I'm not there yet, but yeah, he's still worth a 23 first, easy.
It's not that crazy. I have him at 8.
I have him at 8.
Yeah.
Higgins seems to be like the real, like a huge helium guy right now, right? Like he's got a higher ADP than DK Metcalf.
I have Metcalf higher. I have Metcalf at 7.
Yeah, higher than Jalen Waddle.
I have Waddle at 6, so no.
Yeah, I love him. Like it just wow, that's a lot. 12 teams, Superflex, Lamar, or T-Law, and it's
I get this question a lot, actually. I get this exact question a lot. I'll take...
I like Lamar here.
Lawrence and the 23 first.
This question is very similar to the Dak and Fields in the first question to me, in that you could have the proven elite quarterback, or you can have this young question mark QB in the first, and I'll just take the proven elite quarterback.
I think the difference between Dak and Fields is a lot more than the difference between Lamar and Lawrence. Fields, I expect Fields to be a disaster this year. I mean, the Bears are incompetent. They, like I always say, they replaced one incompetent Ryan and a Matt with another incompetent Ryan and a Matt and changed nothing. They brought in nobody in free agency, nothing at all. And they drafted Velus Jones, who's 25 years old and is a terrible prospect. And that was their idea of improving the weapons for Justin Fields. It's going to be a disaster. And everyone always tells me that I'm wrong and that I just don't like the Bears. But if they go, I got to tell you, the difference between Trevor Lawrence and Justin Fields is very simple. If the Bears go 2-15, their 2023 quarterback is going to be Bryce Young or CJ Stroud. If the Jaguars go 2-15, it'll be Trevor Lawrence. That's the difference. That's the difference in a nutshell. One of those two players has job security for years. The other one does not.
Nicholas says he wants to trade Albert O for Jalen Tolbert or Wan'Dale Robinson, and Jalen Tolbert now takes the lead for the player of the show, unless we get some Robert Tonyan questions real fast.
Yeah, I'll take Wan'Dale Robinson there, but I'd take either player over Alberto. I guess in a tight end premium, it would be close between Tolbert and Alberto. Yeah, I do have. Oh, actually, in a tight end premium, I have Alberto ranked ahead of both of them. So, but yeah, if it's not, then I'll go with the wide receivers. But Wan'Dale first. I would prefer him.
Alberto in a premium or Tolbert for me.
Alberto should be a hype guy right now. Is he is he really going that far? I mean, tight end 12 seems to be his ADP.
I mean, Alberto's ADP is 127, and I have him at 128. So I'm not that out on Alberto.
I mean, Judy and Sutton are I guess maybe the targets, but he could certainly be a top 3 target on his team.
Yeah, but that's not good enough. You have to be top 2.
Wilson, who likes the tight end?
Yeah. He's never done anything at all. So it's all speculation.
We don't expect.
I think there's a chance he's a tight end 1 this year, but then I don't have faith that continues after this year. That's my issue.
It's hard to be a tight end 1. I mean, I rank Alberto in
exactly
as tight end 14. It's not that hard.
Yeah, exactly. Which is why he's not exciting to me.
Yeah.
12 team Superflex, no tight end premium.
This is like the 5th time we've answered that one.
Sorry. AJ Brown and T. Higgins.
AJ Brown.
Yeah.
Ooh,
AJ Brown, look. AJ Brown is elite. T. Higgins is not and never will be. That's the difference. AJ Brown is elite. AJ Brown got paid $25 million. He's elite. He's one. I think he's a top 5 wide receiver talent in the NFL. T. Higgins, if you put T. Higgins on another team, he'd be nothing special. That's all. AJ Brown is elite. So take the guy who's elite. T. Higgins is not elite. Never will be.
I don't agree with all that.
I mean, look, I think that AJ Brown reminds me a lot of some of the, dominant wide receivers we've had that you're scared of when you're the opposing team making game plans. You don't make a game plan being scared of T. Higgins.
I think there's a chance Higgins could become elite, but AJ Brown is without a doubt elite currently.
I don't see Higgins as having any ability of the kind, but he could still elite for me is a very high bar. You're talking like Calvin Johnson, Mike Evans' career at his best, like Jamar Chase and Justin Jefferson. Now that's elite. T. Higgins is not going to be that.
Kyle Pitts and Deshaun Watson or Trey Lance, 223 first, a 24 first, and a 23 second in a 12-team Superflex PPR non-tight end premium.
Oh, this is easy. It's
Lance in the picks. Yeah.
Like, I feel like by $1 billion, right? Like, I know Pitts is valuable, but
landslide.
No, it's pretty easy. If you want to visualize it this way, in a non-tight end premium, Lance and Pitts are actually pretty similar to me. So then it's the rest of it for Deshaun Watson, and Deshaun Watson's worth nowhere near that anymore. Deshaun Watson wasn't worth that anyway. Even on the day the trade was completed, he wasn't worth that. But Deshaun Watson could not be playing until 2024. I mean, there's a good possibility that he's put on the exempt list because they're consistently now a 25th and a 26th lawsuit are going to be filed. So a 25th and a 26th lawsuit, what happens if there's a 30th lawsuit? What about a 40th lawsuit? And it can continue to come out. How can he play during the season with all of these lawsuits? There's just no way. How are they going to make the announcers go and comment on a game about Deshaun Watson? That's not going to work to have that product on TV. Remember, I have a master's degree in this area. I know that there's no way that they can possibly put him on national television while these cases are unresolved. He's not playing this year. He's not playing this year unless the cases are all settled, and the cases will not be settled. So he's not going to be playing this year. And then we'll see when the suspension is, but he's not going to be playing this year. So it's easily the Lance side. And just trust me on this one.
Interesting question. What offense puts up the most fantasy points this year? What offense produces the most garbage time fantasy points? So 2 different questions. What's the first one right there? Most fantasy points by team.
The first teams that came to my mind for this were the Chargers and then the Texans.
The Chargers for the first question and the Texans for the second. I just don't know if the Texans are going to put up enough points to put up the most garbage. I would say actually the Jaguars are a good candidate for the most garbage time fantasy points, because I'm more confident they're actually going to put up fantasy points than the Texans. As for overall the most fantasy points, the Chargers are a good one, and then I would also you can always put the Chiefs in that category.
I could see Atlanta for the second part of this question too.
I just think their offense is going to it's more similar to the Texans. They're going to be so bad that it doesn't matter. I want a team.
Atlanta has like multiple good weapons as opposed to
but for
it's just Brandon Cooks, but then you have Pitts and London.
For this, what a team for garbage time fantasy points is, you want a team with a middling offense with a completely incompetent defense. An offense that could be middle of the road where the defense is completely incompetent. I think Atlanta and Houston are going to be 31 and 32. Last and second to last. Those are the 2 worst offenses to me in the league. So, and not them, but
not
the
Bears
Jaguars.
after your scathing review.
Whatever Justin Fields is, he's a lot better than Marcus Mariota or Marcus Mariota. He is so bad. So that's the one I don't understand. Why people wanted him to get a starting job. They must not have watched 5 years of Marcus Mariota. I don't know what they were seeing, but he just is so bad. Maybe Desmond Ridder will improve the offense when he comes in, but as long as it's Mariota, it'll just be an unwatchable. I'll make sure to turn off the Falcons whenever they're on offense. There's no reason to watch them. Even for Kyle Pitts and Drake London, that's how bad I think Marcus Mariota is. It's just me so boring. You got to get Desmond Ridder in there immediately.
I feel like the Bills could easily put up the most points this year.
They could. Yeah, the Bills are the Chargers though are really the Chargers are the sexy name. The Chargers are the one. I feel like all eyes are on the Chargers to really take
everybody loves the Chargers these days.
I guess Tampa Bay you could say too, right?
The Rams. The Rams as well.
Yeah. Interesting. Yeah, garbage time. I think Jaguars, they're going to run a lot of plays this year.
Actually another good team for the garbage time category. What about the Jets? The Jets actually have a lot of good offensive weapons. The defense really last year could have been better, and they have done a lot of work on it. But I just feel like the Jets are going to be constantly behind. But they have a lot of weapons that can score fantasy points. Like they have 3 legitimate weapons in Wilson, Moore, and Hall. So
FF Lefty saying he expects Bijan to be the RB1 before he takes the field, even with a healthy JT.
It's going to be
probably
hard.
Not, but
JT's only going to be 24 even next offseason. So I still think that people are going to go with the known quantity of JT. But I like I said, I would project Bijan Robinson to be the Dynasty RB2 coming in, right? If I had to project it right now.
Right. Well, just like Pitts came in and wasn't the tight end 1 immediately, it took a year. I think
with running back, you don't have the same waiting period. You don't have the same waiting period.
You don't, but I just don't see him overtake. I mean,
Ezekiel Elliott came in as like 4. Saquon Barkley came in top 5.
Yeah, that's realistic, I think.
And realistically, like if you drafted Ezekiel Elliott if you drafted Ezekiel Elliott, you made one of the best rookie picks ever. I mean, in the Dynasty era, he gave you 4 seasons of elite running back. And Saquon Barkley finishes the RB1 as a rookie, and then has had an unfortunate series of injuries that have made him not good anymore. But if you just took what he gave you in 2018, he was and you ranked him at RB1, he finished RB1 as a rookie. So that didn't work out so bad. I wouldn't have a problem ranking Bijan, who I think is certainly on that level of Ezekiel Elliott and Saquon Barkley as prospects up there.
Sorry to go back here, but I just had another thought. What about the Raiders for this garbage time points? I mean, they've got the Chargers. They got the Chargers, the Chiefs.
But they're not bad enough.
But how bad? I mean, I still think they're going to be a winning football team, even in that division.
I agree.
Yeah.
Like, I think all 4 teams in that division could go to the playoffs. Like, that could just be the 3 wild cards. Whoever does.
It's unlikely.
Chargers, Chiefs, Raiders, and who am I missing?
Broncos.
And the Broncos. Yeah.
Tough division.
The Raiders probably have the worst defense among that group, I would say.
Yeah, I would say so. The Chiefs' defense has been kind of decimated over the last couple of years. It's definitely gotten worse.
With Josh McDaniels, I mean, I can see them slinging it. I can see them, first-time head coach, who knows how he's going to do there. And all those weapons, I just kind of think they could be chasing Kansas City.
I just don't think they're bad enough. I don't think they're bad enough to be in this category. Yeah. They're not going to have I think they're going to be a lot of games where they're winning.
Well, I mean, you could have garbage time points, I guess, like in half your games and still have this be applicable?
But we're talking about the Bortles Jaguars as our template.
yeah, that's the prime example right there.
Yeah, I don't think they're going to be that bad, obviously, but I just think like that division is going to be hard, and they're going to be in some tough matchups, chasing points. Kind of expect Bijan to be RB1. We did that one. Is Bijan really this good? We always have to have the pushback on the hype, Lamb. Appreciate that. Saquon had this kind of hype too. Now he's a failure. Yeah, but it's kind of different.
No,
right?
Saquon, we were right. The talent was correct.
Just injury.
That's right.
It's just injury. The problem is that people don't understand that injuries zap your effect. You some point you get injured enough times and then you're not good anymore. And the people don't realize that. They just think that the same thing happened to Juju Smith-Schuster. We just don't realize, we can't put our fingers on which injury it was, what exactly occurred. But there were enough injuries over the last 3 years that eventually he wasn't Juju Smith-Schuster of 2018 anymore. And I think the same thing has happened to Saquon Barkley. And, you could see, though, in 2018 that he was every bit of the draft pick that you expected. The pick wasn't wrong. Injuries can happen to anyone.
I got 2 first and a second by turn. Ayuk in the playoffs.
How? Amazing. When was Ayuk ever worth that? He was never worth that.
Love it. Great job. Great job, Nicholas. Doesn't matter if Bijan is good, says that
he is
lefty.
Good,
if he has that profile and draft capital and is a testing freak, he'll be worth that. Not saying it's right. It's like the Trent Richardson thing, right? Like he came in and was worth a ton too. It didn't matter if he was good or not. He was worth a lot immediately as soon as he came in.
Yeah. I mean, Bijan Robinson is pretty good, I would say.
Right. Emma wants to know how we view Noah Fant, and Irv Smith.
I mean, I call Noah Fant Noah Fart or Noah Can't. I don't want him. And then Irv is fine, but yeah, he's just a stash.
I have Fant as my tight end 11 and Irv is my tight end 14. Fant, he's in the same situation he was in last year, actually. I mean,
how was he in the same situation?
Basically the same quarterback, but a team that wants to run first with poor QB play, and he's probably the third option in when it comes to targets.
No, it's not the same quarterback. Teddy Bridgewater was much better. Now he has disaster. That's what he has. He has Drew disaster.
He also played with Drew Lock last year.
Yeah, but how did that go? The Drew Lock games were.
But that's my point: is that he's been up here in the ranks through the trash, and he's just still in that trash. So yes, I'm not I didn't knock him from going to Seattle.
Eventually, you have to produce, and he's not going to do that. And he's another year of not producing, and now he's behind Metcalf and Lockett, which is much more competitive than it was before. And now he's going to have Locke, who is so bad that he's going to take everyone down with him.
Unless it's Geno Smith.
And that would be so much better, right? Right? I mean, so much better. We had a nickname for Geno Smith at some point. Someone was like Geno Stiff, but I don't think that's good. We need a brainstorming session. But yeah, we have Drew disaster.
How do we feel about KJ Osborne? Worth a late round flyer. I actually, he's one of the late round flyers I kind of like, because I mean, after Jefferson, I mean, sure, like obviously, we like Adam Thielen, but with Irv Smith and all that, I mean, like
he's a decent bench stash. Maybe he takes over for Adam Thielen, but
he was okay early last year.
Yeah, I mean, he definitely produced when given the opportunity. I'm just not sure how much opportunities he continues to have.
He's the kind of player where, like, he's just never going to be. To me, he's not anything. He'll have his targets at some point, but if they need to move on from Thielen, they're going to bring in someone else to be that wide receiver too. I don't think he can handle it.
Breece Hall and 323 first, or Jefferson and CMC.
Oh, wow.
Hall in the picks for me.
I guess. But
I look at it as Breece Hall and CMC are pretty close.
That's how I have it too.
And then I think if you can get 323 first for any wide receiver, I think you just kind of have to take it.
I don't want to give up Jefferson though. I
don't either, but like that's the price at which
I know. If this is one QB, I'm unlikely to do it at all. Just keep Jefferson. Not going to get a quarterback, which is really the game-changing landscape. So unless I get Bijan in the one QB, I'm not that excited by trading away Jefferson. But in a super flex, I think I'd gamble and do it.
This is I'm trying to see if it really just depends on where those 23 first are in terms of where this value is going to fall. But it's if any of those are early first, it's going to be a landslide on the Breece Hall.
Yeah, exactly. So, but it's just hard to predict it. But anyway.
Yeah. In a startup, Watson went at the 503. No one wanted him. Yeah.
Yeah. I have him. I do have him higher than that. But
Marcus Mariota. I don't even know what BFE is. I'm too
scared.
Too old for this. I'm not going to Google it. Redraft half and full PPR leagues. Darnell Mooney or Marquise Brown. Hollywood, baby.
Hollywood in both.
Yes.
Those target numbers for Mooney, like 29 of them were in the last 2 weeks. I don't.
None of that matters though.
I like Mooney a good bit, but Marquise Brown is probably going to be wide receiver one while Hopkins is gone. Like fantasy wise, a wide receiver one in production while Hopkins is gone, and then he may or may not be right there with Hopkins even when he's back.
Mooney is younger than Velus Jones.
Yeah.
That's
most wide receivers are younger than Velus Jones.
We do another trivia show with Addison. So people didn't watch the video. So Corey, share it with your friends and see if you can get them to hit that like button.
Maybe the video just needed more of me. I would have done it. Where was my invite?
It was a ton of fun. I loved it. I love
Sporkle.
Yeah, it was fun. Do you always take trades that are significantly winning in value, or do you consider your team standing in the league? Asked Sean.
If I'm significantly winning, I'll just take it.
Yeah. If it's significant, Sure. If you do enough of those over time, like you're going to win.
True.
It's just, at some point, I'm not just trading for value alone. Like at some point, I'm going to be thinking about the points value.
If I'm 13-0 and it's week 14, maybe not thinking about it.
Right.
Yeah, there aren't many scenarios where, like, even if you're competing and like you trade away an elite player for a bunch of assets that if you're significantly winning, you're not necessarily decreasing your chances of winning because now you just have more assets to work with.
But you'll often see me trade like lower players for future picks, even while I'm competing.
Like this, like Sean says, for example, if you're a contender, you still trade for future picks, even though you could lose some weekly points.
It depends. Yeah. I was more talking about my bench, but yeah, to a degree, yes.
I mean, if you are making out on that trade, I mean, just because you trade for a future draft pick doesn't mean it has to stay a future draft pick. That future draft pick could be
you can
used
trade
for
it
something
again.
else.
Yeah, it's liquid.
Absolutely. Yeah. And then, yes, it depends on what. Yeah, there's so much it depends.
It always depends. Yeah.
Skip says, who is the Packers' #1 wide receiver in fantasy this coming season?
Lazard.
I have Lazard ranked the highest, but only at 47.
I think I've got him higher than that.
Yeah, the Packers are a hard fade across the board for me. Everywhere.
I've got him at 36.
I'm lower on everyone on the Packers than pretty much everyone else. I think that the Rodgers fanboy crew is in for a very rude awakening this year as he hits 38, no good weapons to throw to whatsoever. I think that, I think it's time. And I think we're going to, people who are like, oh, you have Aaron Rodgers ranked quarterback 19 in Dynasty. They'll be like, when he's at quarterback 28 next year because of his age, they'll be like, oh, I wish I'd listened. But yeah, I'm pretty much across the board. Hard fade on everyone on the Packers.
I expect Allen Lazard to continue being Allen Lazard.
Yes, which is being irrelevant.
Which is less than 10 fantasy points a game in his career here.
He's just bad. He's bad. He's been bad throughout his entire career. He doesn't do anything well. So why on earth would he be good now just because there are a bunch of vacated targets? It doesn't work that way. Vacated targets don't make bad players good.
Yeah, that's right.
He is bad. He's literally never been good. He is a bad wide receiver. He will not become a good one now.
I'll say Aaron Jones, maybe. Like Christian Watson better be good, or Romeo Doubs, or one of these guys, because I just think, I don't know why Allen Lazard sees more than 60 targets just because Adams is gone. I just don't think. I don't believe targets work that way. Like you're saying,
they don't work that way. I mean. And you know what? This is why I'm so down on Aaron Rodgers, because targets don't work that way. And if it doesn't happen, then it's the quarterback who suffers. Aaron Rodgers is not throwing for 5,000 yards with his current set of weapons. It's not going to happen. So
no,
but it's a reason to like Aaron Jones and AJ Dillon.
Not necessarily. If you think that the offense is going to be so bad, then you don't see a total of the number of touchdowns for the running backs that they've had in the past.
I do think the touchdown numbers could come down. I just think the overall opportunities for the running back room.
You won't like where I have either Aaron Jones or AJ Dillon ranked. In redraft, I have Aaron Jones ranked at 16.
That's pretty low.
Low, right? It's because Aaron Jones is the only player in the top 16 who has the downside of being nothing. Nothing at a point, healthy and nothing. That's part of Aaron Jones's range of outcomes that people don't want to admit. There's a potential that during the 2022 season that Aaron Jones ends up being a backup and irrelevant unstartable for fantasy. No other player in the top 10 or 15 of running back rankings has that downside. He's the only one who does, who's healthy and has that downside. No one else does. No one else is getting displaced or benched in the same way, but he could. He's the only one that has an AJ Dillon on his team. So that's why I have Aaron Jones solo.
Rob wants to know, half PPR 10 team Superflex was just offered Josh Allen, Mike Evans, 23 second for Tua, Lazard, 223 first, and a 25 first.
Still Allen, even though it's only 10 teams. Still Allen for me.
That's where I'm leaning to.
It's a lot, though. It's a lot. I mean, 23 first is probably worth about as much as Evans and a second combined. So then it's Tua, Lazard, and 25 first for. Oh man,
we're gonna.
The 25 is too far out for me.
Yeah,
for the deal.
That's true. Although I mean,
it's still first, but 25 is a long way from now.
I'll still take Josh Allen. It's not the worst offer though.
Yeah.
Which wide receiver would be an ideal pairing with a 23 first to move Higgins? So Higgins for wide receiver and a first. Did you get Elijah Moore and a first?
I'll try to do better than that. Can I get?
You might be able to right now. Yeah.
I think I would try. It's not going to happen, but I would try to get DJ Moore and a 23 first.
Ooh, Bateman.
I like that.
Nah, Bateman I have lower than Elijah Moore.
Yeah.
Treylon Burks. Treylon Burks in the 23 first. I might try. Maybe Garrett Wilson. People aren't as in on Garrett Wilson. I'm gonna try Garrett
Michael
Wilson.
Pittman. I'm gonna keep saying his name.
Pittman, yes. Pittman would be another one in that range. Yeah, for sure. But I would try DJ Moore and Deontay Johnson first and see if I can get lucky with those.
We're gonna try and
move to the lower guys.
Hit a few of these here as we have gotten caught up pretty close. Got off for JT for CMC, Crowder, Rojo, Sanders, Hamler, Brevin Jordan in 23 third.
CMC is the only piece that matters, so I'll take JT.
Play that GIF where it's the guy in a bunch of trash bags.
Yeah, JT.
Which Sanders is this?
Miles.
I mean, it doesn't matter, but I mean, like
JT.
Yeah, take JT and whoever you're gonna fill on your bench for, like instead of these other ones. Geno Myth. To Cal Staley, Master Teague. This became a running
Master Teague was cut.
Yeah. I didn't. Yeah. Anyway, he's gonna make
cut
it,
though.
Don't you worry. In your 50 team leagues, he's gonna be a thing. Don't worry.
Yes, make the team that he's gonna make the team that he's not on. Yeah.
No.
Smith. Oh, good.
Knox or Freiermuth?
Freiermuth.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Pretty easy.
Yep.
Yeah. Could I still say that Knox is like the second or third option on that team?
Doesn't matter. Freiermuth is way better than Knox. Just keep it simple.
I don't know.
Knox is just a bit part player. Freiermuth has the opportunity to actually be relevant.
I'll let you guys read that one.
Geno shit.
Oh, come on. It's a family pod.
Believe
Sorry.
that.
Yeah. Big
I said ass earlier.
Energy.
It's 11 o'clock.
I don't care.
Children are still watching the show at 11 o'clock.
Only the most diehard fantasy football fans.
That's right.
Children.
Maybe Hutch is watching this show at 11 o'clock. That's the only child I could think. Maybe.
I drafted Beatty tonight, actually, while we were doing this show in the 4th round of a league.
Thoughts on these players? Okay. Well, I've lost some value recently. I mean, Keontae Ingram, I'm pretty out on at this stage. He's not going to see much playing time with Darrell Williams. I think Darrell Williams is good. So Keontae Ingram, I'm just not going to wait for someone that long. So he lost a good bit of value for me. Tyler Beatty, that would require some, J.K. Dobbins and Gus Edwards to have injuries, which they do have. So kind of more interested in him, actually. He would be the top of this list for me. And then Isaiah Pacheco, I was interested in, but then they signed Jerick McKinnon, who they wouldn't bother to sign him if he wasn't going to make the team. So it gives me a kind of thought that Isaiah Pacheco is not going to make the roster. I mean, he was a 7th round pick, so he's now on the wrong side of the roster bubble. So yeah, I'm kind of out on him just because I don't think he's going to make the team.
I mean, these were all like 4th round rookie picks. I mean,
yeah, but both Ingram and Pacheco have lost. Ingram more so. Ingram lost like 3 rounds of value to me when they signed Darrell Williams because Darrell Williams is a real obstacle. Darrell Williams was an RB1 for weeks last year. He is a problem. We know he's good in the NFL. Whereas Jerick McKinnon, you would think if Isaiah Pacheco were actually good, he would beat out Jerick McKinnon. But Darrell Williams is not going to be able to just be beat out.
If your rosters are deep enough in your league that these are already players that you are keeping on your roster, I'm not sure there's much else on the wire that you'd like drop them for. So I mean, I would just be hanging on to him.
Beatty's the top of this list for me just because Dobbins and Edwards are not healthy yet.
Ridley Truther, what's up? I appreciate you tuning in. Haven't seen you chime in yet today. He says, great show as usual. Thank you, Really Truther. In a 12-team Superflex startup trying to contend now, drafting kickers and wide receiver as rookie placeholder. So he could take the 110 or try to stick with drafting veterans at wherever he is in his draft.
It depends on the veterans.
Oh, who are the veterans?
Right.
Who am I picking between?
If you're still around here, Ridley, tell who the veterans are here. Be Sky Moore. I wouldn't be looking at Cook here. That's not.
No,
I would not
Cook,
either.
But I'd have those guys pick it first, then Sky Moore, then Cook.
But
Cook
I can see taking. I can see the 110 providing more value depending on when that draft is.
Well, it depends on who the veterans are, though.
Yeah.
So we'll see.
I'm trying to find where my 110 is in my ranking so I can.
I have it. I just, I need to know who the veterans are. I can't compare if I don't know what I'm comparing.
Who do you think has the highest out of the Sky Moore, Pickett, Cook? Who do you think has the highest?
Pickett.
Okay.
In Superflex, it's Pickett.
Yeah, Pickett has the highest ADP. And I would take Pickett.
Okay.
All right.
Robert Hunt, keeper dynasty.
A keeper dynasty. Well, which one is it? Is it a keeper or a dynasty? Those are different. I mean, if it's a keeper, I like Swift. I mean, I like Swift either way. But if it's a keeper, I'm more likely to lean towards Diggs. Whereas if it's a dynasty, I'm more likely to go with the other. I mean, I guess I would rather have Diggs than all those guys except Hall anyway.
It's a tough question.
Even in a dynasty, I have Diggs ranked higher.
This is a very tough question, Robert.
Well, no, I just answered it.
No, I know. I just he's saying Swift, Diggs.
Oh, it's a keeper auction. It's a keeper auction. Yeah, we auction questions. Basically, you just cannot answer on a live show because every auction is different. Like I need that. Like I don't do a lot of auctions, and I need like the auction table like written out because every auction is different. Unfortunately.
Yeah.
So
what have other players gone for?
Yeah, like who is kept? What is the like? It just not something that's so easy to. Too many variables with an auction. I actually really haven't explored a lot of auction formats. Like for me, just hasn't. I like drafts. I just something I enjoy it more. Auctions I've never really been as into, but it is something I have some interest in like exploring over. If I like retired from content at some point, that's probably one of the first things I would do is join some auction leagues and join some Debbie leagues. It'd be the first thing I do if I retired from content and actually had some time to play and enjoy fantasy football. But I don't have time for that. I have 150 Patreon leagues to help manage. Any time I spend in my own leagues is time taking away from them. And I don't want to do that.
I like thinking about this question. You already have tremendous running backs and wide receivers. So maybe it depends on what that means.
It's a good question. How about this? It's a kind of thing where like try asking me this on Twitter. Even on Twitter, it's hard because it's hard for me. I get hundreds, but try asking me this on Twitter. Give me some more details in the Twitter thread, and we'll see what I think about it.
Breece Hall and Keenan Allen for Najee Harris. What do you think? In dynasty leagues.
So to me, essentially, like even though I have Najee Harris ranked 5 and Breece Hall at 12, I have DeAndre Swift. I have the top 3 and 1 QB, excluding QB. I have Taylor, Chase, and Jefferson as my clear top 3, but I don't see much of a difference between like DeAndre Swift at 4 and Deebo Samuel, who I have at 16. They're almost exactly the same to me. So I'll take any upgrade to move in that tier. And Keenan Allen is good enough. So I'll take the Hall and Allen. Maybe I don't really love Allen, so I'd love to flip him for something else. But for value-wise, I'll take the Hall and Allen side.
Yeah, I think Allen is enough to bridge that gap for me.
To me, that tier, like I said, I have a tier of
me too.
I'd also include Andrews in that tier. So I have a tier of 14 players that are almost identical from 4 to 17. So
because also like Najee Harris doesn't have a lot of room to go up, but Breece Hall
he can't.
Come up right
he's already
up
24.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he's already 24. So Hall is over 3 years younger than Najee. Najee is March 98, and Hall is August 2001 or something.
Open 24 hours with a general. I'll sum it up by just saying like 1.25 tight end premium. So the non-elite, the non-difference maker tight ends, how do you view them? Ultimately, I'm viewing them as I'm taking them maybe very late.
Yeah, 1.25 tight end. Yeah, 1.25 tight end premium is, every additional point you add actually matters more. So 1.25 is like when you go up to 1.5, that is a bigger difference than from 1 to 1.25. And then when you go from 1.5 to 1.75, it's an even bigger difference than the previous 0.25, because with every 0.25 you add, the odds that you can flex tight ends increase. So the difference actually is magnified with the amount that you add. Each addition adds more. So so 1.25 premium is essentially the same as one.
Yeah, the tight end premium to me really only ever helps the elite of the elite, because they're the only ones who are catching enough passes to really make this big a difference. So after the elite, it's just, take whatever of the giant tier of players after that, because they're all going to be pretty close.
No, it helps the other ones because you can flex them. You can flex 10 to 15 tight ends in a 1.75 tight end premium, whereas in 1.75,
yeah. Once it starts getting up that high, yes.
Yeah, but that's why I'm saying it matters. Every additional 0.25 matters more than the previous 0.25. There's a bigger difference between 1.75 and 1.5 than there's between 1.5 and 1.25.
Yeah.
So
that's
what I'm
saying. Super interested in Logan Thomas or Hayden Hurts now.
I'd only be interested in Thomas, not Hurts.
I could see this. I could see Zach Ertz gaining a lot of value the more that tight end premium goes up, because he does get targeted a lot historically.
Hurst is nothing. We know that.
Or Evan Ingram, even maybe.
Evan Ingram sucks, so he doesn't count.
Yeah, he's really bad at football.
No,
glad we agree. He is so bad. He is so bad. It's just every ball is dropped. I mean, he's always running the wrong way. He doesn't know what he's doing. He doesn't know how to play football.
So Ben sent us a sticker, which is why we will answer a setting lineup question on June 14th and say that not a lot.
Not a lot.
Said
only the most extreme conditions.
Hey, so last year, I've done this now for 3 years, or mostly really 2 years. I did this in 2020 and 2021. I did start sit questions on Sunday morning. I will tell you that this year, I think with 25,000 plus followers, that is going to be an interesting experience for me on Sunday morning. So I will say, if you want the answer to this question, just ask me. I'm probably going to be like 400 questions deep a morning, but I have my 2 Twitter accounts. I have my methods of answering those questions quickly. But yeah, I'll be around for those start sit questions. It's my favorite thing to do, even though I need a 5-hour nap every time after I do it. It's my favorite thing.
Let's see.
Okay, go
ahead. Those are
this is the same kind of question.
Backs. Yeah, it's tough.
It's the kind of thing where you can use everything on your roster to upgrade at a position, and it's difficult again to kind of without a picture of the league. I do this on my Patreon. Like I do this. I'll look through the other rosters for you, and you can take a look at that, or on Twitter. Just show me some screenshots. But it's always harder on here with just text. But it's a good thing. Show me a screenshot of your roster on Twitter and ask me if there's specific players I recommend selling or buying. But it's difficult on the show. Of these, I would say the most relevant, actionable information I can give you is that Leonard Fournette, unless you're a strong contender, is often a sell for me. Damian Harris is as well, with him being in the last year of his contract, as Wyatt talked about earlier when we were talking about Pierre Strong. So yeah, that's some of the stuff. Dylan is a strong hold for me.
DeAndre Hopkins or Devonta Smith?
DeAndre Hopkins, I'm just kind of done with. So, I would think like when DeAndre Hopkins comes back, the week he comes back, I'm probably going to rank him higher than Devonta Smith in sit or redraft. But in terms of dynasty, I mean, we're well past the point where I think DeAndre Hopkins has much dynasty value.
Do I hear that right?
There it is. Yeah. But
this is
Cal, this is like the seventh. But Cal, this is like the seventh time. This is the seventh time on this show that this has happened. Yeah, you missed the other 6. I was like, I even mentioned it a couple of times. But yeah, I get really loud when it happens and try to talk over it.
Local liability, we said Spiller on this one just because J-Rob is kind of a meh.
Yeah,
right now. And with that, look at that. Hang on, let's pull that back down. All right, we are done. Thank you guys so much for coming in. Wyatt, awesome job. You crushed it right here. Crushed it.
Oh, thank you. Appreciate it. Thank you for having me.
Tyler, you crushed it as always.
Oh, thank you.
Any article or anything you want to plug here?
Well, yeah, I mean, there was the Tony and Wan'Dale Robinson article that I referenced that came out recently. There's always the Ask DLF weekly rundown that comes out every week. I wrote an article about Jalen Waddle and Tyreek Hill. I haven't been writing as much lately. I know we need some articles, so I'm probably going to start writing a little bit more. Yeah, we have this show, my own YouTube channel. This is simulcast on there. I have my own show on there. Just added Conan as a new co-host, so I'm kind of excited for that. My Patreon is always that I reference from time to time. Twitter, it's right there. But first and foremost, though, I always just want to thank everyone who's made it to the end of the show. The player of the day is Jalen Tolbert.
No doubt.
Jalen Tolbert is the player of the day. So when talking about it on social media, talk about Jalen Tolbert, mix him into your comment, is the player of the day. So there we're back with the sirens. But mix in Jalen Tolbert in your discussion about this show on social media, and that way I'll know you watched to the end.
There we go. All right. For Wyatt, for Tyler, for DynastyLeagueFootball.com, I'm Calvin and Hobby. Make sure you're following all of us, and make sure you're following DynastyLeagueFootball.com and get your membership. Get ready because it's about to be go time on the season. That 4-for-4 content, when we get into some of the redraft stuff, some of the daily lineups, all that stuff, you're going to want to make sure you're taking full advantage of all that. And yeah, for those guys, we will see you guys